This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential.
Well, hopefully you all are not confused because this is not the Fourth and Frame show tonight, guys. This is the Draft Show Playoff Edition, Fantasy and Frames. Welcome. We did hijack their intro music. So sorry. We got two of the Fourth and Framers over here. Nate and Kyle made it in the intro music. I am joined tonight. We got JT, we got Jorge over here, guys. We are going to be going through and doing some of these playoff contests. Listen, if you had a bad fantasy season this year, like who among us, right, didn't have like a not so great. I don't want to hear it, JT. JT just told me that he won like 10 of 10 out of his finals. So you can get out. No, I'm just kidding. But for the rest of us, like maybe we didn't have a great fantasy season. Guess what? You can still be a complete degenerate and gamble on the playoffs. And so we are here to help you tonight. Make sure maybe you can recoup some of your money that you spent on the playoffs that maybe you lost on some DFS contests this year. We're going to be doing an ESPN bracket prediction contest. We're going to be going over to the FFPC and playing over on their playoff challenge. And then we're going to be wrapping up the night over on Fast Draft. So if you want to play along with us, go ahead, get on some of those sites. If you want to maybe do some of these after we get done, do them tomorrow before that 4:30 kickoff, just, make some notes. But jump in those comments, throw us some questions. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. We got a lot of really great games tonight. But first of all, the most important question I want to ask everybody right now is, what are we drinking? Gentlemen, throw around the horn. JT, what you got?
My favorite, it's called a Blue and Blue. I made up, it's blueberry vodka with blueberry Red Bull. Blueberry Red Bull, my absolute favorite. So Blue and Blue. I go to the bar and I order it, and people always think I order a Blue Moon. And I'm like, no, it's the Blue and Blue. And so I've got people around me in my area, they know what I'm ordering now. It took a while to get everybody on board, but now they know.
You train them well. Jorge, what do you have?
I got a couple beverages going my way right now. I got some gin and tonic with the gunpowder Irish gin. And then, Nate, well, you'll appreciate this one. I got some Paso Robles wine.
Oh, the 1858.
The 1858.
Nice.
Yeah. For the wine enthusiasts out there, it's definitely one. So Camus Vineyards, if many people have seen Camus as the, little out of a lot of people's price range when they don't want to spend $90, $100 on a bottle of red or in red blend or Paso Robles. The 1858 is their, every man's wine, if you will. And it tastes just as good. I don't have that. I do have a bottle upstairs of it. I haven't opened, but I have red wine myself. Just a little California red blend. I think it's from Aldi's, actually. I went to the cheap section out of my wine cellar. It's just a cabinet in my kitchen, but whatever. It's the same.
Well, Nate, I'm not too far behind you. I mean, it looks really nice and classy here, a nice little red cab here, but it's probably a $13 bottle made by Josh. You familiar with
Josh Cellars is good, or Josh Winery is good, yeah.
Yeah, good cheap little wine. It doesn't give me a hangover or a headache, so let's.
You're not drinking enough.
Oh, I'm joining the winos here tonight. I got a little red. I got a little Pinot Noir with me tonight. It's one of my favorite Pinots. It is a Meiomi Pinot Noir.
Yeah, very good.
A little mini bottle. We'll see if we finish this tonight. Who knows?
Of course, you got to hydrate with Gator Light in between.
Responsible. This is what happens when we get to be over a certain age, Kels. We gotta hydrate. We gotta maintain a little bit so that we don't want to die in the morning. Yeah.
And for those who want to be reckless, you could have like wine glasses, or you could have like a pint glass in which you pour your wine into. Either way, it's going to end up being a good time no matter what.
Whatever the vessel. Yeah. Guys, we got some really great games coming up on Wildcard Weekend. Like, sometimes there's like that one game that you're like, oh, this sucks. No wonder it's at 4:30 on a Saturday. Nobody really cares about this game. And that would be the Rams at the Panthers this week. The Texans are no longer the early game. So good for them. They got bumped out to a better slot. What do we think about this? Rams at Panthers? Or are you guys excited about this? Is this just going to be a complete bloodbath? Any thoughts?
Well, the Panthers just got back with their top offensive line. No, it's not going to be. It's going to be a bloodbath. Yes, I don't care about any returning offensive line for the Panthers. I know
This is
Carolina
Vegas
beat
is
them last
begging
time.
Carolina to stay close game, right? Right? It's like they're begging them because everyone's on the Rams. Like everyone is on the Rams in this game. So this is Vegas. Like, can we turn the switches and make the call? Let's keep Carolina close in this one. It's going to be real interesting because I don't know a single person who is taking the Panthers in this game.
No, and I didn't even take them in the regular season when they actually did beat the Rams, but that gives me more reason why there's no way they're going to beat them twice, because you can't beat a really good team twice like that. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah,
Not led by Sean McVay.
No, it was. I mean, if you look, how in the world? I mean, we know how they won. 3 turnovers by Stafford. Carolina having a 20% touchdown rate, passing wise. Everything went their direction. But I spread or no spread, I have zero interest in Carolina in this matchup from a betting perspective, nor a fantasy perspective. Actually, I don't think there's anybody really on the team that I'm excited to have a piece of.
No, I agree, and we'll get to this. We'll get to this soon about who we're playing, who we're fading for these lineups, because some of these are going to require us, like in the FFPC, to pick a defense. So maybe Carolina is the defense that we pick, because who really cares at that point, right? We're only going to need it for a week. I don't know. We'll get to that. Not skipping ahead. I don't even know that I want to talk about this one, but we have to. Packers at Bears. Go ahead. All of you take the Bears. Go ahead, guys. No, don't even say it. Don't.
I'm not trying to incur your wrath like you had on the waiver wire watch party earlier in the year when the Bears beat the Packers. Not dealing with that.
I will just know here in Illinois, every one of my friends that are Bears fans, which is a majority of almost all of them, are insanely nervous about this game. Like they're like, even though you're like, okay, they're the 7 seed, you want this 2 seed to play the 7. Like no one thinks that they can beat the Packers again. It's like everyone's sitting there like praying, but they're like in the back of their mind, everyone's going, somehow we're going to lose this game. We're going to lose this game, and it's going to be 100 times worse because we lost to the Packers instead of losing to someone else. It's the Bears fans are already on edge. Everyone's ready to lose it. They're freaking out. I'm already getting texts tonight. People are already nervous about it. They're like, what are we going to do if we lose the Packers? Like, this is it. This is the end all. So it's going to be, I mean, they battled this year. They battled this year. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. I think it is. I think it's going to be a 1-score game. I really do.
Yeah,
I really think this game could go either way. I really could see either team winning. I think this has all the markings of a last possession game. They've played each other that way all year. It's going to be cold. Both teams' defenses have been playing really well outside of the Packers against somehow Tyler Huntley lighting them up. But other than that, they've both been playing pretty well down the stretch here. So I think it's going to be a really, really close game. Everything I'm seeing right now is supposed to be some snow, but I hear it's not going to actually be enough to accumulate on the field. Might be some flurries, but nothing too crazy. So I don't think that's going to impact the game. We're not going to get a Buffalo blizzard type of game, which I think would completely impact this game big time. So here's the thing is, if either one of these teams are playing a warm weather team, I think you'd be like, oh, I'm really liking, but we've got 2 teams that play in the cold all the time, are used to it. I don't think there's any advantage for either team in this one because of that.
No, the 2 NFC North teams that play outdoors anyway, who cares? That's nothing big for them. I'm sick about it. I don't even know that I can talk about it without just being ill. I don't know. The Packers have 15 guys on injured reserve. 15. And we put another one on injured reserve today. So
sounds like my fantasy team.
Oh, but that's what my fantasy team should be named. Don't you worry, Colby. For hanging in. We'll get to your Texans here in just a minute.
Yeah, we will.
This one, I think might be the most interesting for me game of the week, and I don't want to see either one of these teams lose. Buffalo at Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's it feels like I should have known this prior to today, but I didn't really know that Sean McDermott and Josh Allen are 0-5 on the road in the playoffs. Like, I knew they were not doing well on the road in the playoffs, but not having a victory is, you can look at that from two different directions. Number one, other than they're due, right? Because that's the easy answer that you want as a Buffalo fan. Or this is a typical another scenario where Buffalo, who allows over, nearly double the points on the road as they do at home. So is it does the playoff erase all of the regular season home and road splits? Does it change when you have a tried and I'd say weathered Josh Allen versus a Trevor Lawrence, who in the playoffs, I think we know some history there with him, with the Jags in general, but I think everybody's going to want to focus on the two areas, or the one for each. Can James Cook get started on the ground against the Jags run defense? That's the narrative that everybody, as they should, because when you look at what I write down, I think I had it here somewhere. The Jags or the Bills, when Josh Allen rushes for less than 80 yards, have lost 3 of their 4 games. So is it going to be one and does one lead to the other? But there's more to it than just the run versus the run D. And I'm sure you guys will point out some of the other things that I might have left off.
But Nate, to your point about Josh Allen losing on the road, what about the other side of the narrative where he's only lost to Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and a young Deshaun Watson? Those guys aren't in the playoffs right now, so it'll be really interesting to see if Buffalo can win on the road, like you mentioned, Nate, and then imagine going to the Super Bowl and actually winning, and then the narrative is true. He's only lost to Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson.
I actually want to say that the last time that the Jaguars faced the Bills was in Jacksonville, and it was like a horrible game in the first round, and Buffalo squeaked it out. It was right around the time where Josh Allen for Jacksonville changed his name to Josh Hines Allen. But to your point, as far as the running game is concerned, I'm more interested of not just if, but like when Travis Etienne goes off against Buffalo. When you look at yards per carry, rushing yards allowed, rushing touchdowns allowed, the Bills are like within the top 3 or top 5 in most of those categories. And so, spoiler alert, or maybe not as spoiler alert, Travis Etienne is somebody that I'm very bullish on when it comes to setting lineups. Plus, you have the rushing upside of Trevor Lawrence as well. So,
do you guys feel like this is all one big setup to force us to talk all off season if the Bills lose about how Josh Allen is a fraud and he just can't get it done, and this was the year that he should be able to do it, and if he couldn't do it this year, then he must not be any good? I just feel like I don't want to have that conversation because I think that's such a false story that's kind of being set up to be told. But I don't know. I feel like if he loses, that's all that we're going to be talking about all off season.
Everybody's going to be all over that narrative, but this is the team. Like, there's flaws with this Bills team, but it feels like this would be the setup for them to somehow, as the 6th seed, swing through and get to the Super Bowl. I really do. I really like the Bills. We'll talk about it later when we do predictions and everything else, but I sneakily like this Bills team just because everybody's underrating them and everyone has been all over them as the favorite the last couple of years. I think they're underrated. If Josh Allen just can play, he's played so many great playoff games. It's just he's always got outdueled by Mahomes or Burrow, in those moments. If he can get it together, the defense doesn't have to be great for the Bills. They just got to be that much better. They've just been not good at all. So it's if they can just be semi-coherent in the playoffs and keep them in it, where let Josh Allen cook, I think they'll be all right. So it's going to be really interesting. But man, if they lose first round and don't at least make a run, I think people are just going to be up in arms about Allen. They're going to be up in arms about McDermott. They're like, I can't win. We got to make changes, and then everyone's going to start freaking out. If they got to do something this year, they got to do something.
To Kyle's point,
go ahead, Jorge.
To what Kyle and Drew and Aiden were talking, and Rhett were talking about on Fourth and Frames a couple nights ago, if the Bills not only lose but get blown out, like Sean McDermott, he's the defensive guy. He's the defensive head coach. And if that's not even working for the Bills anymore, because, on offense, they don't have an alpha wide receiver. That's been the thing that's been probably anchoring him to that head coaching position. The real question is, if they get blown out by Jacksonville, do we get a rebuilding situation where they bring in an offensive-minded head coach to kind of help unlock even more so Josh Allen and the passing game for Buffalo? So a lot of, you Stacey, you're saying like we don't want to deal with these questions, but a lot really hinges on what happens, not just what happens, but how it happens as well on this weekend.
Oh yeah, I don't want either one of these teams to lose. Like the Jags are so much fun right now. You have to feel good for Trevor Lawrence, like finally, like making, like living up to hit the hype when he came into the league. And then you just want, I don't know about you guys, but like it's just hard to root against Josh Allen, man. Like he's just such a lovable, player. So I hate that they have to play each other this week. Next up, we got 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't even know what to think about this. Like the Niners are so beat up. Philly's just been so meh this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I've got the 49ers winning, I think, just to be a little bit of a contrarian, but who knows? I don't know what's going to go on with Philly. What do you guys have any thoughts on this one?
Thoughts is that I think the opposite from Buffalo and Jacksonville, where we don't want anybody to lose in that game. I don't want anybody to win in this game. I would much rather see the playoffs advance without, but that's probably – it's not really even a fair thing to say because I love so many aspects of both of these two teams, but the fact of the matter is it's going to probably come full circle to the most boring of positions is left tackle, and Lane Johnson comes back and Trent Williams is in doubt. And so who would have thought that maybe the offensive line can play, such a key factor in this game. But the 49ers really need to step up from a defensive standpoint. Since they lost Fred Warner, they've really, really given up from a running aspect. If the Eagles are going to win, in my opinion, while they've went back to – what week was that, guys? Probably like week 8 when they started passing the ball at about a 30% more clip. I think they're going to have to revert back to the run game and try to exploit the lack of Fred Warner and take advantage and control that way. That's the way for me to an Eagles victory. But I don't want to say I don't care about the game because it's going to be a great game. I think we know that it's going to be hard hitting. We've seen these two teams play each other in the playoffs. It feels like year after year. But I'm just kind of, and maybe that's me being biased and me being a hater because I don't have any rooting interest this year, so bah humbug.
It's one of the harder games to pick, on a bracket challenge when we get there. That game is one of the – because, man, I'm like you. I'm taking San Francisco in the game, but I could see that very easily going the other way and Philadelphia just screwing up the whole bracket and going back to the Super Bowl. I don't see it, but they are capable of doing it, and that's one of the harder games to pick from, in my opinion.
Yeah. The only person I want George Kittle to get a Super Bowl, and other than that, I don't care about any of the rest of them.
But you look at Nate. You mentioned Fred Warner being out. Well, the guy they brought in off the practice squad Tatum Bethune, he's out for the season, right? So now you have like your first linebacker, your second linebacker. You're relying on D. Winters. You guys are calling the upset here. 6/3 seed here for the 49ers. This is a situation for me where I see Eagles kind of just in a boring match. Considering the firepower that a lot of these other games are going to be having, this is going to be one of those grinded out games where Philadelphia just controls the clock, much like how it was the Eagles versus Buffalo a couple weeks ago. Like they didn't do anything super exciting. They just manipulated the game as best as possible and let the other team make the mistakes. And I think that's what you're going to see tomorrow. or
I
Sunday.
was just gonna say real quick because Nate, before I forgot, Nate, we were like right on the same page because I put a note in about Lane Johnson being, possibly questionable. And I think like if there's questions with that line, that definitely swings it for me towards the 49ers.
Yeah. Everything I've seen is he's likely to play. And it's still that if there's a position that is the trickiest when you have a person coming back from injury, that when every snap there's impact and there's a potential for re-injury and or just injury in general. Offensive line work is by far the most difficult to predict and project because you just, it's one thing to have a receiver that you're like, all right, you know what, he's got a harness on, maybe he can get catches and then go down and avoid impact, avoid, collision. Left tackle, you don't have much choice but to engage every single play. So, yeah, interesting aspect that we didn't think we would, focus on the left tackle role in a X factor of this game.
Right, but like, are you worried about Bryce Huff, getting by the backup tackle for? Like, it's not like Bosa's out there and the advantage is immediately going to the defensive line of the 49ers. Like
yeah,
what
but
scares you from that situation as far as the in the trenches here so much
is how good Brock Purdy is in a clean pocket. He's first in EPA per drop back. And if you eliminate that one area, where does he drop in a non-clean pocket? I got to tell you, I don't have it in front of me. And I would love to have that, which would be great. But it's the only, I don't really concern myself too much with the Eagles' lack of offense as much as I feel like I want to, because they're so up and down. And I know that that's such a generic, terrible reasoning, because what my gut says they're going to play better in the playoffs because they've been there and they won't succumb to the pressure. Well, so are the 49ers. I mean, we're talking about two teams that they've made up the Super Bowl, 5 of the last 6 years?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. So the Rams are the only other team for the NFC that's been in the Super Bowl.
I'm on the Niners in this game, and I'll tell you why. The Niners offense, 6 out of the last 8 games have been 26 points or more scored in every game. The one games they didn't have it was the 20-9 game against Carolina that they just were dominating, kind of just won. And then that last week, I think people were down on because the 13-3 game against Seattle. I think people underrate how good Seattle's defense is. I think this Niners offense is way better than the Eagles offense. I really do. I think they're way better. Now, the Niners defense isn't great. I think the Niners win this game because I think they put up points. I think everybody's kind of down on them because the last week with just the 3 points. If you look at they scored 37 plus 4 out of the last 6 weeks. I mean, they've been putting up points. I mean, this team's been rolling. Now, they looked terrible last week, but it's last game of the season, whatever. And like I said, Seattle, their defense has been really good. So I think I have the Niners win this one. I'm taking the points. They're getting 6 right now, I think it is, which is ridiculous. I'm all over them on that, but I'm also on them on the money line. I think the Niners. I honestly think the only way the Eagles win this thing is if we have an old school Saquon Barkley game where he just absolutely dominates on the ground and runs for 160 and 2 touches. And that's how they get it, because he's just grinding them out, because they are beat up on defense. The linebackers are hurt. I mean, this whole team they're just piecing it together. I think that's how they can get it done. But this is probably my favorite upset, because even though the Rams are a lower seed than Carolina, no one's considering them an upset. Everyone thinks the Rams are going to win. I think this is my favorite upset. I think Niners over the Eagles this week.
So real quick, I guess I got to address something, because Jorge, you asked me earlier, why am I concerned? I'm not concerned about the 49ers pass rush. I'm talking about the fact that I think the Eagles win because the lack of Trent Williams. So the opposite. I'm not thinking of Bryce Huff in the 49ers pass rush. I'm thinking of Trent Williams protecting
Brock Purdy.
Okay. I'm betting on the Eagles.
I thought you were betting on the 49ers. Okay.
No. I'm taking the Eagles for not just for that reason, but a lot to do with really that the 49ers run D has I mean, if you look at the last 2 months, they're next to last in yards per contact per attempt or yards before contact per attempt. It's going to be that game that JT said they're going to need to have, the old school Saquon game, and that's what I envision. If I have my vision board, I see Saquon and I put him running through the 49ers defensive line, who might not be exciting. Oh, Aiden, it's not your year.
Stop it, Aiden. The Bills are not winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I've never wanted the Jags to win so bad. I'm going to have Trevor Hare.
We are going to roast you in our private chat.
That's so great.
So badly.
By the way, did you know that Aiden's dad gave us permission to call him Jesus of Nazareth the other night because of his hair? Yeah. So.
Oh goodness.
That's his name.
So before we move on, real quick, I just noticed this because I was just checking while you guys were talking about an old school Saquon game, right? Fun fact: Eagles and 49ers rank 22nd and 23rd in fantasy points allowed to the running back position. Only 0.2 of a point separate the two of those teams on season long numbers. So
a lot of CMC Barkley. Let's see them both. CMC and Barkley.
You know,
tear it up.
That should be a fun matchup, right? CMC Barkley, who knows? But next game, Sunday night game, we have got the winless in the playoffs, Justin Herbert, versus the maybe MVP, Drake May? I don't know. What do you guys, yes or no, real quick? Drake May, MVP. JT.
I'm sorry.
Stafford should get it. I think May had an awesome season, but here's my deal. If you looked at who they played two teams with a winning record, the Steelers and the Bills. They went 1-1 against the Bills and lost to the Steelers. Two teams with a winning record is all they played. Great season with Drake May. I love Drake May. I have him everywhere. I think Matthew Stafford's got to get over. They played a much tougher schedule in a much tougher division. Yeah. I think you got to go. I feel like this is like the Heisman. It's like you only can give it to a guy if his team is like in the championship, which I don't think should be the case. So I think Stafford had an unreal year. I would give it to him. This is the year that really we needed CMC or Jonathan Taylor to blow up and see if we could got someone other than a QB to win it. Would have been freaking great. I've been on the someone other than QB win MVP trail for a while, but I think Stafford should get it over May.
Yep. Jorge, Stafford or May MVP?
Stafford.
Yeah. Kyle?
Matthew Stafford. Yep.
Nate?
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, same. I really just asked that question to trigger Jim Bednar when he listens to this tomorrow morning. Sorry, Jim.
Love you, Jim.
Not your year, Drake, baby. That's okay, though. That's okay. You still had a good year. Don't feel bad. Now, Chargers versus the Patriots. I'm actually really excited about this game. I think this game's going to be a lot of fun. Thoughts? The Chargers going to win? I'm not thinking so. I don't think so. Don't think it's happening.
Man.
There's only one Harbaugh now. There can only be one.
It's true. No, I don't think they have a chance to win. It's the travel to New England. It's going to catch up to them. I love Jim Harbaugh though. I love his coaching. I would, if I was a football player, that's who I'd want to play for. I mean, who would you not? Why would you not want to play for Jim freaking Harbaugh, man? I just love everything he does, like in the locker room. You know, where he does the who's going to beat us? Nobody. You got to love that, man. It's just a lot of fun. But I think the fairy tale ending ends in New England. They're just unmatched out, man.
Yeah.
So I like this Chargers team. I was going to say I like this Chargers team, but man, I do not like the fact that they got to go to New England playing late night on Sunday. I don't love that for them.
Yeah.
Like I don't love that for them. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be shitty out. You got the teams playing in the dome. Like I think the Chargers are good, but I also think the Chargers are like a much better when they're at home or in a dome game. This to me, and I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna hurt my heart as saying it. This feels like when the Colts used to have to go and play at New England in the playoffs, and you just knew you're like. Dome team on the road in the cold in New England, like offense isn't going to show up. They're going to be in trouble. I think the same thing. I think New England Defense is going to be there. I think Chargers are going to really struggle to score in this game. I really do. I think it's going to be cold. You got that hurt hand from Herbert. QJ is kind of distant lately. They've been really struggling to get people involved. I think New England gets this one done.
They're 5-1 in domes this year. I just looked at that stat.
Really?
So looking at passing yards, looking at touchdowns, looking at receiving yards, looking at receiving touchdowns, the Chargers are within the top 5 and like fewest allowed in all those categories. So like, who's gonna what's the recipe for success here for New England? Right? Is it just Drake May running the ball and throwing it to the Hunter Henry a billion times? Like, is Stephon Diggs going to have a renaissance game from like 5 years ago?
This feels like an under game to me. I think it's going to be close.
Sure.
I think it's going to be low scoring.
I don't think it's going to be like woo. Let's.
I think it's going to be just everybody's going to be like, oh, okay, we just got a 13-10 like Sunday nighter. Like that's what I think we're in store for.
I'm not going to go out on a limb and say the Chargers are going to upset the Patriots. I will say that this is probably going to be a game that is going to be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, that's fair.
Spread-wise concerned, I'm.
Oh, I have the Chargers already bet on the Chargers on points. I think they're going to cover. I think the Chargers are going to cover. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Patriots win it.
I kind of think so too. Although Scampers makes the point though that the Chargers defense can travel. So what's up, Scamp? Thanks for hanging out with us. Yeah. All right, guys. Last but not least, Colby, I hope you're still there. This one's for you. Houston at Pittsburgh. You got young CJ Stroud versus the old man Aaron Rodgers, who put on, can I just say, that game against the Ravens, like chef's kiss. Mm-hmm. That was beautiful. That when he threw that touchdown, who was that to? Al Austin. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, memories of old Rodgers. That made me so happy. It made my heart happy. And the next day I had to go watch a bunch of old clips of him throwing to MVS, down the field. But
I will say this.
You can pull it off.
This is the sentiment part of football, and what you hope is the game against the Ravens. As you guys probably know, it's probably the last football playoffs for my dad. And being a big Steelers fan, that the victory against the Ravens in the midst was, you want to talk about giving someone an extra couple of days, weeks, months of life. It was that. I want this to happen. I want the Steelers to keep going. So he has, can continue, have something each week to root for. He and I talked, and he even said, he's like, I wouldn't get too excited, and I wouldn't put too much money on the Steelers. And I think that while Colby, obviously betting the Texans by 30, I don't think that real heartfelt, buddy. Thanks a lot. I know you're tongue in cheek, of course. It's the worst. It's the game I care the least and care the most about, all in the same time somehow.
Yeah.
But I would not bet on Pittsburgh. There's nothing about the Texans defense that doesn't favor them over the Steelers offense. The pass rush is going to cause fits. Their secondary is good enough to keep up with, that plethora of wide receivers they have in Pittsburgh, or lack thereof. So, yeah, unless does someone actually think the Steelers will win?
I've got the Steelers over the Texans.
You do?
I think the Steelers are going to win also.
Wow.
I think Rodgers has got it in him.
I thought I was going to be the only person. I was going to wait till the end and give my Steelers spiel, but I've got actually people on my side. I love it.
Wait, am I the only one on the panel right now that has Houston winning this game? I got Houston.
No, I am. I have Houston winning too, but I'm not going to do it. Just out of hope.
No, like the big question heading into last week's game is no DK Metcalf. We saw game one without him, and we saw how the offense for the Steelers just wasn't, what we like to say, good. And we saw last week, like, the division on the line, making it to the playoffs on the line. What's going to happen? Will he be able to find another option in the passing game to make some magic? And it took till like the 5 minutes left in the game, right? But you saw classic and vintage Aaron Rodgers come out, find Calvin Austin. He made this work. He found his mojo without DK Metcalf. Now you're bringing DK Metcalf back in. Now, granted, yes, the Texans, what are they going to do? Probably going to try and take away DK Metcalf. But if I think there's anything that happened last week shows, he at least helped instill some confidence in some of the other receiving weapons that they can be relied upon when the Texans take away DK Metcalf. The concern here is the pass rush. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, edge rushers for the Houston Texans, like, consistently put up double-digit sacks each and every year. That is, can Rodgers stay, out, clean in the pocket? That's the biggest concern right now in this matchup. But,
I mean, Jorge, remember what they did to poor Josh Allen?
You're right. Yes.
Like, that game vividly sticks in my head. Like, they just terrorized him all night.
You know what? I share the sentiment with Nate in the sense of, like, the Texans should win this game. If this is his last hurrah, if this is his last season, he's not going out against Houston. There's no stats, there's no nothing. It is purely a feel, and I know we hate feels here, but
you hate feels.
I do hate F feelings. Okay? The fact that he was able to, in the clutch situation last week versus Baltimore, division, like I said, on the line, give me that Aaron Rodgers magic, man. I don't know how else to phrase it.
Yeah,
it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Also, fun enough stat here. Our boy Kenny G, which is somebody that I really enjoy in some of these contests that we're going to be drafting here in a minute. Since week 13, 15.7 PPR points per game. 10th overall.
He's been an absolute stud. I've been all over Kenny G in receptions. Receptions and over receiving yards have been the absolute slam bets for him lately. He has been killing receptions and over yards. I'm going to give me my little Steelers spiel as this resident Steelers fan here. I actually think they win this game. Monday night at home. It's going to be crazy. Texans, yes, their defense is really good. But when the Steelers defense shows up and they don't make mistakes, they crush. They were awesome against the Ravens, other than two terrible coverage plays by Ramsey where he just totally just did the wrong thing. He thought he was in the box. He was supposed to be the deep safety, and they gave up 2 long touchdowns. Other than that, the Steelers absolutely had the Ravens shut down. I will remind people the Texans beat the Las Vegas, number 1 pick, Las Vegas Raiders, by 2 points just 3 weeks ago. So this isn't a team just blowing people out. Like, they've got a great defense. They've been in a lot of close games. They've won some nice games, but they've also barely beat. They beat Tennessee 16-13, people, at one point this year. I know that the record's good, but the amount of, like, really good quality wins aren't great, and the good wins they have all been real close. They've all been real close, and almost all of them been at home. So while I like this Texans team, I think they're good. I think their defense is the best defense. I actually and I will say this, I put money before I knew what the seeds were going to be. 2 weeks ago, I put money on the Texans to win the Super Bowl because I thought if anybody got on a run in the AFC, they could do it just because of the defense. I still think they could do it because of the defense, but I like the Steelers in this game, man. Home Monday night, crowd's going to be crazy. I think Aaron Rodgers is locked in. I think they get DK back. They were on the verge. They just needed to make it, and now that they're in, this feels like the team with Jerome Bettis that just barely made it, and they had to do everything they could to get in, and then they made their way to the Super Bowl and beat the Seahawks.
But they already faced their Mike Vanderjack and Tyler Loop last week, so it's not like another kicker's going to be like shanking that one.
Oh, poor Tyler Loop.
But Stacy, should we get to this to the bracket now?
Because originally I had planned on that part of our show to only take about 15-20 minutes, and we are 40 minutes in. So let's move it. I'll sprinkle in some of the questions that I had, that we haven't gotten to yet. Don't worry, because they're pretty good. But Jorge, tell us a little bit about the ESPN Playoff Challenge here that we are going to do here. This is not just like players. We're going to be picking basically our team that's going to end up winning the Super Bowl. So tell us a little bit about how people can go on and do this, what this is all about.
Sure. So let me also give like a little deep dive for those who are watching as far as like why we're doing things in the order in which we're doing things also. So this is the ESPN Pigskin Bracket Challenge. You can go on ESPN.com. It's free. You get 2 brackets to choose from. I already went through one, so this is like literally the last one I have available. But this is going to be cool to go through because we're taking things from like a macro scale of like, okay, let's look at the teams. Let's predict out where things are going. Because when we get to the FFPC $35 buy-in challenge and we get to the Fast Draft app playoff Super Slam, these are all contests that lock tomorrow, right before kickoff. So, this is all playoffs, so that by getting an idea of where these teams are going to go when we're doing the Pigskin Challenge, that's going to kind of help guide us is like, are we taking a team that's on a bye this week in terms of players in some of the other contests that we're taking, or are we loading up on first round, playoff players? So that's it. You just head over to ESPN. Like I said, it's free to sign up, the ESPN Pigskin Challenge. And Stacy, you're the boss. Which do you want to do, AFC or NFC first?
I feel like the AFC is harder for me to pick anyway, at least when I've been doing mine so far. So let's go to the NFC first. Let's do that. Jorge, what's the prize for this, by the way? Do we know?
I believe it is $50,000.
Okay, let's for a free entry. Let's absolutely throw some of those in. That's a gift.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm taking the Seahawks to win the first week.
Well, congratulations! You've already won. So
you're on your way, Stacy.
You're on your way.
All right. Don't do the Bears Packers. Make that last. Go with Rams Panthers.
I mean, man.
First, we were all on consensus, right, with the Rams.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, but I have a question though. Like,
no, they don't have a chance.
No, I know they don't have a chance, but like, if the Panthers won, like, can you imagine how many people's brains will start like spewing like smoke out their ears, just mind blown by the fact that Carolina has advanced? But that's not going to happen. I say that
you get 2 free entries, right?
What's up?
You get 2 free entries on this.
You get 2 free entries. So take.
Why not?
I still wouldn't take Carolina.
One is regular reality. One's the upside down, like in Stranger Things.
Why not? If you've got 2 free, why not go in and do a second one? Throw the Panthers in there. I mean, I don't think they're going to get rolled completely. I think they have a decent defense, so I don't think they're going to win. But I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Do you think they cover the spread, the 10.5
What's the spread? 10? Yeah, I think. Well, maybe. That's an awful lot, though. That's an awful lot.
Yeah.
All right, so we have
Jorge. Real quick, as again, this. If can you tell people how to find the Pigskin's Challenge? The reason I'm asking is I can't find it on the ESPN site right now. I'm trying to. I had it up earlier, and somehow it's like disappeared on me. I'm like, how do we find the Pigskin Challenge? I tried to type it in, and I couldn't.
If you go to fantasy, go to the ESPN page. Go over to the right side. It'll say fantasy. It'll say it'll have a button for watch, fantasy, and then where to watch. Hit fantasy, and then it's the second.
You got it. I found it. You're a champion. I was like, I'm looking at NFL. There's nothing on NFL. I'm searching Pigskin Challenge.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing. I found it. I found it.
Thanks, so I'm putting a link in the YouTube chat for those who are watching that you can go and access that there. Okay, Stacey, we'll get to the Bears Packers after this because I think we were a lot of us were torn in this next game with the Eagles, the 3 seed, versus the 49ers. And let's not forget few seasons ago, this was a highly contested NFC Championship matchup that now we're getting in the first round of the playoffs. We're in that matchup in the NFC Championship, which led to the Eagles taking on your Kansas City Chiefs that year. Brock Purdy got knocked out of the game within the first quarter. It was all downhill for San Francisco out of that. Now we're getting, two starting quarterbacks who have been – one's been very not living up to expectations. The other one has been cruising, with the exception versus the Seahawks. To JT's point, the Seahawks defense is no joke. So JT, given that's the case here, let's try and find a consensus here as best as we can. Actually, Stacy, let's start with you. Eagles, 49ers, which one?
Niners.
JT.
Niners.
Nate.
Eagles.
I swear to God, Kyle, don't mess this up.
You should know where I'm going. I said it earlier. I got the Niners.
All right, well then Niners it is. We'll lock in the Niners as an upset
I
here.
thought Nate had the Eagles, though.
He did
I
have
have
the
the Eagles. That's why I said the
okay.
Eagles.
Oh, you have the Eagles as well, Jorge. I got you.
Yeah, I like $50,000 contrary to you guys. You guys must have enough money in your pockets already, so you don't need to.
So we're going with consensus here.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So my AFC team, I already know when we get there, is not going to make it with you guys because that sucks.
All right, let's get to the next game here. So by picking the Niners, that changes up the divisional round where now the Seahawks will take on the Niners in a rematch of that Thursday night game, that classic we had a few weeks ago. So now it is the winner of the Bears-Packers will take on the Rams. Stacy,
Yeah.
go Pack go, right?
Go Pack Go all day long. You would never get me. I don't care if this was like, a Rams Panthers situation here. I would never pick the Bears. Go Pack Go. I don't care how many people we have on injured reserve. I got to go with my heart. I can't pick against my boys.
Satan himself would come up to the
Gotta respect it.
and
Gotta
say,
respect it.
you can, yeah, okay, fair enough. JT, who are you taking here?
The Bears.
Okay, so we are tied. Kyle.
Stacy, I'm with you, girl. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers. I think they can run the football in January. They can run in the cold. They can run, and you can run on this Bears defense too.
Yep.
And I do think that little cheese grater incident there might come back to bite them in the ass a little bit, just a little bit. I mean, that's still fresh in their mind.
Listen, we are living rent free in the Bears' heads right now. Like you went out, I saw this on Kay Adams. Like y'all went out and made a thing like about the Packers. Like that's how much you were living in your brains over here, is that y'all went out and made something specifically for the Packers. And I loved that so much. And I was like, I'm going to use that later.
How often
Bears
do we
fans
see
are so confident just because Aaron Rodgers is not there. Like right now, like literally, all my friends are like, they're like, I think we can win because there's no Aaron Rodgers. If you took Aaron Rodgers and put him immediately right now on the Packers, every Bears fan I know would be like, we're done. We're never winning this game. We're totally screwed.
That would turtle up so fast.
Yeah.
Nate, who are you taking to this matchup?
Sorry, Stace, but
Come on, Nate.
I don't go with my heart. I go with my stupid, dumb, always wrong brain, and I'm going to take the Bears and just hedge my bets.
So you're going to take a quarterback who's never played in a playoff game to beat the Green Bay Packers and a division rival who can run the football, which when you got to be able to run I'm going to try to push for us, Stacy.
Oh, go right ahead.
Josh Jacobs is the better running back. Jordan Love is the better quarterback, right? Defense. Maybe.
It's a toss-up.
Is he?
Parsons isn't there, man. Parsons isn't there anymore.
He's there in spirit. And listen, when did that trade for Parsons go down? Like literally before the season started, right? So it's not like we didn't have a plan for what we were going to do without Parsons. It's not like we got Parsons early on in the season.
Yeah, but look how far the defense dropped off.
Going to the playoffs.
Look how badly the defense has dropped off and look at the record that the Packers have had since Parsons has been out with his ACL injury.
I know.
Well,
No one
last
believes
thing,
in Rashawn Gary. No one.
Aaron Rodgers is not the only one to own the Bears. Jordan Love does too.
That's the entire organization, really.
So the question,
ahead, take the Bears.
I think we're.
Cheers, Kyle.
So hold on. So Stacey's Packers, JT again. Who are you? Bears.
You're the deciding vote, Jorge.
I am the deciding vote. So the question is, can the Bears go 2 for 2 for knocking out Jordan Love out of the game? Can the Bears go 2 for 2 for Josh Jacobs getting knocked out of the game and his knee being an issue? Or can a healthy, quote unquote, healthy Packers team roll in this matchup here and you get Jordan Love doing the discount double check in Soldier Field? About channeling. I know, great analysis here. So which team is showing up?
Oh, yeah.
Malik Willis will have more passing yards than Jordan Love in that game.
And that's fine. I'll take it. I don't care how we go.
That's the only way that I would take Green Bay is if it was a Malik Willis.
There's more experience on the Green Bay side in the playoffs.
Yeah. We have Matt LaFleur.
That's my last little push.
I would have taken the opposite. I would have said they have Ben Johnson, and that would have been my push.
Our coach doesn't have to take his shirt off.
Good. Maybe he should take his shirt off. Maybe that will motivate
No
you not to
one's,
lose.
no one's arguing against that. If he would like to, I think there's a lot of people out there that would be okay with that.
Yeah. Would they have lost 4 straight going into the playoffs if he had his shirt off?
Who
Probably
knows?
not. They probably would have only lost 3.
He needs to try that next year.
Solid strategy. Sounds like we're onto something. Sex sells. Come on.
Yep.
Matt LaFleur is dangerous.
Who you pandering to? Stacey.
So we talk about sex selling. Well, this is going to be the least sexy pick I'm doing. I'm going to go with the Bears. So
after all that bullshit, I really don't want you to pick the Bears. Feels like just.
Well, I already in my first bracket picked the Packers. If I'm trying to be contrarian, I'm trying to diversify.
Oh, well, that's not fun.
Stacey, we're going to do a lot of shit talking after we win this one.
Exactly.
Our text message chat is going to be blowing up.
I just don't care. That's the best part.
Is this liberating?
How does that feel, Nate? That you don't have
This is so great. I love playoffs when I have zero vested interest and I can just watch football.
I can see Nate being a villain too. Like, I don't care. Yeah, talk shit to me. I love it.
Nate wants to burn it all down. Hell yeah, Panthers. Let's.
He looks like a villain.
Let's go.
Oh no, I am not that delusional. I do
It's
want
like
to
Panthers Jaguars Super Bowl.
now we're
the
talking.
thing that would
All
crush the
cats,
NFL. They'd be like, "What's
Dude,
happening?"
do you remember when they were both expansion teams and both teams
And they both made the semis, and the league
the
was like,
conference
"No."
championships? And Carolina was actually up on Green Bay in the first quarter, and then finally Brett Favre woke up.
I remember when Steve Smith caught a pass over the middle on my birthday to beat the Rams. In overtime, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that game. Yep.
We were at
Mark Bulger was the quarterback for the Rams, I believe, at the time.
Yes, he was. Pro Bowl MVP Mark Bulger, if you will.
Excuse me. Well, okay. Yeah.
Man, I want to
How
do a
dare I?
bracket
How dare I forget
the Jags Panthers. I'm gonna do one now. That's a Jag Panthers. That's one of my.
All right, let's. Kyle, I want to throw it to you this time. Sam Darnold had his baptism under fire game, in my opinion, versus the 49ers a few Thursday night football games ago. In overtime, didn't flinch, game on the line, and made it happen. Does he go 2 for 2 versus the 49ers? That was versus the Rams. Now, does he go 2 for 2 versus the 49ers in less than 5 weeks?
This one's actually, it's going to be really tough, like you said, Jorge. It's going to be close. That game's going to be. I'm going to have to edge with the home team here and take Seattle. But I would not be shocked if the 49ers just made a run, because if they get through Seattle, then they probably will get the home game there in the Super Bowl and maybe even win it. But for the pick, I'm going to have to ride with the 12 guys, the 12 men in Seattle, and the home team's going to get them through.
All right, Stacey, who are you rolling with? Seahawks, 49ers.
Yeah, I got to go Seahawks, that defense. I don't think it's Darnold that wins that game for them. I think it's their defense.
Yeah, I agree.
Nate, who are you rolling with?
I
Seahawks, 49ers.
know. I'm gonna stick with Seattle.
And
then JT.
Because remember, the Eagles are going to win.
I'm going Seattle. Sam Darnold. 2 years ago, I said Sam Darnold would be good if he just got on a decent team, and everybody laughed at me and thought I was insane. And I was like, pick up Sam Darnold, trade for Sam Darnold if he ever gets a starting spot on a team. He'll be good. Went to the Vikings, was good. Went to Seattle, he's good. Freaking Sam Darnold's pretty good. So I'm super pumped. I had Sam Darnold plus, I think it was 100,000 to win the Super Bowl MVP like 3 years ago when he was the backup to Purdy. I was like, if Purdy gets hurt, Sam Darnold's going to lead the Niners to a Super Bowl. Didn't win that bet, but I feel like I'm in the area. So I'm like, I might have to sprinkle a little money on Sam Darnold Super Bowl MVP this year just because.
All right, I too will go Seattle. So Seattle is making it in our picks to go to the NFC Championship. All right, who's going to meet them? Let's go from the bottom to the top. Nate, Bears, Rams. Who are you taking?
Rams.
Kyle.
Same, the Rams. It's probably a clean sweep here, right?
Yep, I too have taken the Rams, and just for posterity's sake, JT.
I'm taking the Rams here. The only thing is, if the Eagles if the Eagles beat the Niners and the Eagles play the Bears, I like the Bears beating the Eagles. But I know we're doing this bracket, so because I think the Rams are tough. I'd rather see the Bears not have to play them. But I think if the Bears play the Rams, I like the Rams.
And then Stacy, you're going with the Rams also?
I'm going with the Rams.
All right. So we got in the NFC Championship, the 1 seed, the Seattle Seahawks with the Legion of Boom 2.0 versus the Rams, who had a classic on Thursday Night Football a few weeks ago that I was just referencing. Stacy, take us home. Who's going to the Super Bowl from the NFC?
Seattle has a great defense, but the Rams have got Stafford, they got Puka, they got my boy Devontae Adams. I just don't know how you beat that. Plus their experience there with Sean McVay. I think the Rams make it to the Super Bowl this year.
JT, who are you rolling with? Seahawks, Rams.
Man, I'd love to see Darnold get the Super Bowl just to talk shit to all the haters. But I think Stafford's the man in these situations. I still think Stafford's underrated. Man, he's been so good throughout his career. I think Stafford wins this game. Everybody said he was dead, said he should retire. They won the Super Bowl. He was done, and, man, he's stuck with it. I think this Rams team – I mean, what are we, 1 game away from this Rams team being the 5 seed instead of the 1 seed? I mean, come on. They were right there. I think it's Rams. I think they go in and they win that game at Seattle and crush Seattle's hopes.
I always want to look at defenses, and while the Seattle Seahawks have as having the best secondary out of these two teams, the Rams win in the trenches, and that's where you win football games. So that's why I'm going with the Rams, not so much the offense, because we saw that Seattle can put up points too. Kyle, Rams for you?
Yeah, there's no sense in then coming off that pick. When we came on and we started, the season on 4th and Frames, we gave out our Super Bowl predictions and the whole back thing with the herniated disc with Matthew Stafford and that all situation. I still stuck by him. I still said, hey, if Matthew Stafford can stay on the field, they can get to the Super Bowl and possibly win it. So there's no sense in me changing it up now. Let's roll with the LA Rams.
And then Nate, you taking the Rams also?
Yep.
All right, let's get to the conference that is. This is a lot spicier. Definitely a lot spicier, I feel like, than the NFC.
Yeah,
at least for me.
Haven't the AFC feel like it was just like nothing but all the stud QBs, all the good stud teams? You're like, oh, whoever can say how the AFC is going to win. And now this is feels like the most wide open AFC playoffs in years to me. Because I feel like it was like, oh, it's always the Chiefs. And then you're like, okay, can Lamar beat the Chiefs? Can somebody else beat the Chiefs? This feels like the most wide open AFC side in a long time.
With the exception of one quarterback, all these quarterbacks, they got it. They've been waiting for Mahomes and the Chiefs not to be in the playoffs, and it's like, hey, we're good too. Let's not discount us just because we keep losing to the Chiefs. Nate would disagree. But that being the case, let's start from the bottom here. Patriots, Chargers, Stacy.
Sorry, Pats.
That line is good.
It is, yeah.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Those tannins. Great.
Tannins. JT, who are you taking?
I'm on the Pats. I think it's a super close game. I actually think the Chargers have a shot to win this game, but man, the Sunday night in the cold in New England, man, if this game was like a sunny like noon game, I feel like the Chargers might have a better shot. But I'm like, they're not winning this game in the cold late night in New England. New England's gonna win. Ugly game. I think it's gonna be ugly. I think it's a 13-10. I'm taking Chargers. I will say this. I'm taking Chargers to cover, but I think the Pats are going to win.
I'm taking the Chargers. You mentioned it, cold weather, horrible conditions. What do I want? I want a coach that runs the ball and plays good defense. So I'm going with the Chargers here. Kyle, who are you rolling with?
Yeah, JT, I agree. It's going to be a close game. And I kind of wish that the seeds were reversed with Buffalo and the Chargers. I would love to see the Chargers going to Jacksonville and seeing some warm weather. That would I feel like they would have a really good chance to upsetting Jacksonville, but that's not the case. So I'm going to roll with the New England Patriots in a close one.
And then Nate, bring us together.
Patriots.
Okay.
I mean, do you guys not remember when Mike Vrabel made his infamous quote about what he would do to win a Super Bowl?
No, what did he say?
Do you guys not? Who knows what I'm talking about? No one?
I'm totally lost. Usually I know this stuff, but you got me stumped.
He would cut off his dick to win a Super Bowl.
Did he really?
Yes, look it up. I swear to you, it's a thing.
How did I miss that quote? How did I miss that quote? That's insane.
I think this was when he was in Tennessee, but it's been a couple years. So
well,
this changes everything. They're
showing up. Who's showing up?
Gal's like, I'm putting $1 million on the Patriots if that's what if Mike Vrabel says he's doing that. I'm putting $1 million on it.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? Mike Vrabel's putting $1 million on the Patriots for that reconstruction surgery once it's all over with.
Exactly.
Let's go now.
I'll cut it off and put it right back on.
Back on.
Hey, I respect it.
He's like, if you want to throw some extra in there too, why not? Go ahead. Speaking of extra, I think the Jags are going to roll over the Bills this week. So I'm taking Jacksonville. Nate, who are you taking?
Man, this is the one I do go by far have the most difficult time.
Yeah,
one, I never want to pick the Bills, mostly because Aiden would be just disgustingly
insufferable. Yeah.
And insufferable is the right word. But I also do think that come playoff time, everything has to fire correctly for a team like the Jags that are looking to get over that hump. And I worry that the Bills, if it was the first round against pretty much any other team in the AFC, I would feel better about the Jags. I would feel better about the Jags over the Chargers, the Steelers, the Texans, probably even the Patriots. But I'm going to take the Bills myself.
Okay. Kyle?
You know, I really hate to do this, but here's where I'm at with this game. In the playoffs, you got to be able to run the football. You also got to be able to stop the run as well, right? Jacksonville can do both. Buffalo can do one of those. So, unfortunately, as a Titans fan, and I cannot stand the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are the hottest team entering the playoffs right now. I think they still stay hot, and they win this game.
So, by the way, if Jacksonville wins this game, Kyle, you have to go on TikTok or every social media platform you're on and do a selfie with you saying Duval. Just letting you know. What's happening.
The funny thing about that is I got a friend who's a Jacksonville fan, and he wants me to say that so bad, and I refuse to do it. So if I took you up on that, Jorge, we'd have to block him from seeing it.
I just want to throw up here, Philip, you are consistently have been supporting us and donating to us all season long across all of our shows. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to us. You're just an amazing human being. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate that.
Yes.
All right, so we got 2-1 Jacksonville versus Buffalo. JT, who are you rolling with?
I agree kind of with what Nate said. I like T-Law. I'm a big T-Law guy, so I'm glad that he crushed. He went over yards this year. That's a win bet for me. Took the over 375. He got it, so that was awesome. I like T-Law. And I would take the Jags over every other team. I think the Bills is the worst matchup. I really do. I think the Bills, even though their defense has not been good, I think it's the worst matchup. It's like the one team I didn't want to see the Steelers play was the Bills. Even though the Texans have a great defense and the Bills don't, I actually am more excited to have Texans than Bills. I just feel like the Bills are the team that has underplayed all year and can blow up in the playoffs. So I'm on Bills in this game, even though I secretly am kind of, even as a Colts fan, I'm secretly rooting for T-Law because I like T-Law. I think the Bills end up winning this game. I think Josh Allen and them get it together, and I think they make a run. So I'm on Bills.
As a Colts fan rooting for T-Law, would that be the equivalent of?
I know it's terrible. I don't like the Jags. I mean, but I like T-Law. I have just backed T-Law in every fantasy league for years. When everybody talks smack about him, I was like, no, T-Law, like, don't get rid of him. So I feel like me and John McGlynn have been the two people, touting T-Law for 4 years now about how don't give up on him. He's going to get there. And then everybody's like, no, he's terrible. So I don't like the Jags, and I hate to see the success. As obviously I would rather see the Colts in there as the 3 seed, but did not happen this year.
Yeah, so when you go to your next Colts game, because I know you got season tickets, I'm going to rent out the big Titantron that they have, this big screenboard, and say JT is secretly a Jaguars fan.
Well, I was laughing because we were going to go to the game. Me and my son both have Travis Hunter jerseys because we're big Travis Hunter fans. He went to Colorado, and he was like, Dad, I really want to wear my Travis Hunter jersey, but I feel like we get yelled at the Colts game. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Because we're Colts fans. I mean, but we like Travis Hunter. So I was like, yeah, we can't do that. We can wear them secretly at the house, son. We cannot go out in public with the Travis Hunter jersey on.
Real quick, speaking of jerseys, why are you wearing Robert Woods' jersey, crisscross style? Exactly.
I said that before the show. I'm about to go crisscross. I'll be right back. Because I was listening to Jump earlier today, along with West Side Connection that JT and I were talking about before the show. And that's
dude, Crisscross Jump was my absolute favorite song in elementary school. I was 5th grade, I think. Absolutely favorite song.
I have more questions about why you're listening to Daddy Mac will make you jump than I do about you wearing the jersey backwards.
Because if you didn't listen to Crisscross, then you'd be wiggity 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 whack. That's why.
Boom.
All right, Stacey, we are tied 2 apiece here. Yeah. Break the tie. Who are you rolling with this game?
Here we go. All right. If it was Trevor Lawrence versus Josh Allen, and then everything else is equal, okay, I'm going Josh Allen because I think altogether it's Josh Allen, right? Here's the problem is that Josh don't have anybody else. He's literally no one else. All right. He's got Dawson Knox down there, and he's got James Cook, and that's it. And it's the 3 of them. And I don't know who else he's going to throw to. So I don't like it. And I'm looking over here. I'm looking on NFL Next Gen stats. Rushing yards allowed per game, number 1 in the league as far as fewest rushing yards allowed per game. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 85.6. All right. So that's not good news for my boy James Cook. All right. So I got to go with the hot hand right now. The Jags got hot at the right time. I think everything's clicking for them, and I'm taking the Jaguars, and I feel bad about it. I really do. I got a lot of Bills fans out there that I'm friends with, and I just love Josh Allen. I think he's just a fun guy to root for. But man, I think I'm gonna go. I gotta go with the Jags.
And thank you, Crypto Life Bag, for appreciating
Yeah.
the jersey. All right, Jaguars take it. Currently, as the seeding goes, Patriots, Jaguars in the divisional round. All right, Steelers, Texans. Nate, I know feelings versus logistics. Who you rolling with? Just
Oh man, something tells me I'm going to be the tiebreaker based off of our conversations earlier too, and I really think the Texans are going to. I think the pass rush in Houston is just too much for the Steelers to overcome, and it's going to be a pretty gross game. And I'm taking the Texans.
too legit to quit. Cool. Kyle, who you rolling with?
Yep, Houston Texans. I got them. There's not much to say. I just think that their defense is going to hold Aaron Rodgers down. This whole Aaron Rodgers magic thing that we're going to hear later on, it's not going to happen, guys. The Houston Texans defense is good. Newsflash. They're going to hold down the stagnant offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Houston Texans win big. Not 30, Colby, but they do win by 13 or more.
All right, JT, Texans, Steelers, who you rolling with?
Absolutely taking the Steelers in this game. Monday Night Football at home. Texans on the road. I like the Texans defense. Man, this is set up perfectly for the Steelers. If they're going to win, this is it. This is the team that everyone's like, they shouldn't have got in. They snuck in. That's when you make a run. I think they take out the Texans. If you put this game in Houston, I'm completely going the other way. I'm not even kidding. I think Houston wins by 2 touchdowns in Houston. But this game, Monday night, late night, the Steelers do not lose on Monday night. They do not lose night games almost ever. Like, they are one of the best teams ever on Sunday, Monday night games. I think the Steelers win this game. I think the defense shows up. I think Watt, Herbig, Alex Highsmith are all over CJ Stroud in this game. If the secondary doesn't completely just trip over themselves, I think the Steelers win this one. I think it's going to be close, but I think the Steelers win this one.
Stacey, who are you rolling with?
Yeah. Okay. Same thing. I'm with JT here, so I just think it's set up so perfectly for just a vintage Rodgers game. And listen, I know the Texans defense has been phenomenal this year. I get it. Listen, I think they're missing Tank Dell, and really that's what would do it for me. If they had Tank Dell back, then it would be all about the Texans. I'm kidding. I do love Tank Dell though, for real though. I can't wait till he's back, but we're not talking about him right now. So I think I'm taking the Steelers here, and the brackets I've done before. This is the one and only game they win, because then they're going to have to face the Broncos after that. I think that's a little too much for them, but I think they take the Texans on Monday night.
So I guess I'm the deciding factor here, and I want to throw it back to, this is not a shot at you, Nate. I just want to preface this before I continue on with my thought. I remember an Aaron Rodgers Packers team going against one of the best edge rushing duo in defense in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship a few years ago, where Aaron Rodgers was taking on Tom Brady. And this defense for Tampa Bay was no joke. And yet somehow, some way, Aaron Rodgers was able to overcome a formidable pass rush and a tough defense. I think Mr. Discount Double Check takes it home one last time in the playoffs. So I'm going Steelers, which brings us to, in the divisional round, Broncos versus Steelers and Patriots versus Jaguars. We haven't talked about the Broncos. Let's get into it right now. Stacey, let's go in reverse order. Broncos, Steelers, who are you rolling with?
Yeah, I got to go Broncos on this one. I just think they're coming in really well. They're really well. I mean, these are two really well coached teams. You've got Sean Payton, you've got Mike Tomlin. Here, I listen. As much as I love me some Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's got it in him for one more game. I think this is the exit game, maybe his last game of his career. Who knows what happens next season? But I think the Broncos are just too good of a team against the Steelers right now. So I'm going to go Broncos for me.
JT?
Oh, I'm going Steelers upset. Absolutely here. You look at the Broncos, the record's good. They've been pretty tough. Man, they have won some absolutely ugly freaking games. They beat Vegas, the Raiders, number 1 pick, by 3 points. Second game, beat them by 7. Beat Washington, top 6 pick, beat them by 1. Lost to Jacksonville by 2 touchdowns, beat an absolute garbage KC team. Sorry, Nate. But when everybody's hurt, everybody's done, they win barely by 7. They beat Chargers 19-3 last week after the Chargers basically sat everyone. The one good win they have in the last, well, and they beat Houston by 3 points in a close game. The only good win they have in the last 8 weeks is Green Bay 34-26 at home. That was a great win by the Broncos. I feel like this team is the most right team to be upset by far in the playoffs. I really do. I mean, they beat the Jets by 2. They beat the Giants by 1. I mean, they have so many close losses against terrible teams. I think their defense is really good. I don't think the offense is going to show up when they really need it in the playoffs. I don't believe in Bo Nix. I think he's okay. I think he's a decent player. I don't think he has – I don't think – you give me Bo Nix versus Aaron Rodgers, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers every freaking single time. I'm taking the Steelers in this game. I think this is maybe their best matchup is if they end up playing the Broncos.
All right. When you look at the defense for the Broncos, it's kind of a similar recipe to the Texans. Good pass rush, good secondary, yet we're taking the Steelers in the first round as a consensus. You swayed me, JT. I'm going to go Pittsburgh also. Kyle, who you got?
That was nice, JT, about those wins by the Pittsburgh Steelers. But let's talk about some of their recent losses. How about their 26-7 loss to Buffalo at home? How about their loss to the Cleveland Browns, 13-6? And they
Brutal.
really should.
I yelled at the TV, almost threw stuff at the screen. But I knew it was coming. Every real Steelers fan knew they were losing the Browns. This is an absolute guarantee loss. They always choke one terrible team. They choke when it matters. And the Bills are their kryptonite. It's the one team I don't want to see the Steelers play. Everyone I know that's a Steelers fan was like, we want anyone but the Bills because the Bills will smoke us because the Steelers cannot beat the Bills. They suck against the Bills.
And I know I shouldn't say should because the end result is they won, but they really should have lost that game to Baltimore here recently. Man, that sucks for Tyler Loop and the gang. And it was a chip shot field goal. And it's just – I don't know. I just don't buy the Steelers. We're sitting here looking at it, though. I got to go with the pack here. You guys are taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to now play the Denver Broncos. I would have had Houston actually upsetting the Denver Broncos in this one. But since now I'm looking at the Steelers Broncos, I will take a 40-13 win for the Denver Broncos in this one.
All right,
40-13.
God damn.
And that's because
1 hour, 15 minutes, 16 seconds. I'm going to write that timestamp down.
I will bet you against that. I'll take the cover on that one.
You'll take a 27-point spread. I bet you would.
I'll take that one for sure. Here's the other reason. Not only that I'm a Steelers fan is why I like the Steelers, but anytime you have a team, it's like it's the universe. Anytime you have a team that just barely makes the playoffs, they get lucky. They definitely probably should not have gotten in. And they get lucky, that team always makes a run. It doesn't matter if it's college basketball, football, whatever. If you get a team that just somehow, just sneaks in and probably shouldn't have, those teams win 1 or 2 games. It always happens. The Steelers, to me, feel like that team this year that everyone's going, oh, they shouldn't have been in. They don't deserve it. But they got a decent quarterback for once. I mean, they almost beat the Bills with Mason Rudolph, which is freaking insanity. So, they actually have a real quarterback for the first time since Ben Roethlisberger. I think this team is going to be sneaking the playoffs. I'll shut up, I'll hang up, and listen from now on.
All right, Nate, you're the deciding factor here. Who's winning this matchup?
Yeah, and JT's first soliloquy about the victories or the losses or the close wins or close losses that the Broncos had is exactly right. Their schedule has not exactly giving them a resume that makes me want to back them entirely with some of the close games. And immediately the first thing I want to do is go to the Steelers and say, yeah, but did they do? And I'm looking at it because I'm not paying as close attention to the Steelers as I probably should, doing this every week and talking about it, and you forget about it and whatnot. But I don't know if there's a team in the playoffs that has actually done. Granted, some of these teams are not playoff teams. I get it. The Detroit Lions are not a playoff team this year, but they're still the Detroit Lions. We know that. The Baltimore game, while Kyle, you said they should have lost that game. Theoretically, it probably should have been a tie because they should have made the extra point and never needed the field goal to even win and or lose. It should have went to overtime, and then who knows. But the Steelers have beaten some really what I would say good matchups. I mean, on the road in New England, the Vikings, who of course aren't playoff teams, but I still don't think that they can get past the Broncos. I think the Broncos defense is just at a level that I don't think they make mistakes that's going to be needed for the Steelers to really overcome. They're not going to win by 27 points. That's ridiculous, but I'm going to take the Broncos. I really, really hope the Steelers win. I would love to see it. It would be my favorite thing ever. But that's a lot to ask out of this team is to go into Denver and beat the Broncos.
All right, our other semifinal or divisional round matchup: Patriots, Jaguars. I'll get us rolling. Give me T-Law to the championship game, AFC championship game. I'm going Jacksonville. Nate, who you rolling with here? Patriots, Jaguars.
If the Jags get past the Bills, I think they can get past the Patriots as well, and I'll take Jacksonville.
All right, Kyle.
Yeah, if we're looking at this, I wouldn't have it like this, but I like what Nate said. If Jacksonville, they're going to stay red hot, then they're going to continue on. So yeah, I'll take them to beat the New England Patriots in this scenario.
All right, JT, and then we'll go Stacy just to round out everybody.
I would have taken the Bills, and I would have had the Bills winning this game too. If they lose this game to the Jags, I'm with Kyle and Nate. If the Jags beat the Bills, I think the Jags win this game too.
Stacy, you're going to make it a clean sweep?
I'm going to make it a clean sweep. Better offense, unfortunately, than the Pats right now. I think the Jags stay hot. I think they go on to play the Broncos.
All right, and then in the AFC Championship, we got the Broncos and the Jaguars at Mile High. Stacy, get us started. Who are you taking?
I think this is where it ends for T-Law, our little Disney prince. I think it ends at the end of the road for him. I'm going to go Broncos to the Super Bowl to face the Rams.
All right, JT.
Man, this is tough. In my bracket, I have Rams versus Bills. So I have Bills winning all these, and it's Rams-Bills. Man, if it's not Bills, God, Broncos, Jags. This one's a toughie for me. I'm going T-Law. I think T-Law is better than Bo Nix. I'm taking T-Law. Even though I like the Broncos defense better than the Jags, I think the Jags have better offensive weapons. I'm taking the Jags if it gets to this. Though I will say I think the Bills get there instead, but I'll take the Jags.
I am going with the Waffle House King, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jacksonville Jaguars to make it to the Super Bowl. Kyle, who are you rolling with?
In this scenario, I agree with Stacy. I think the magic is over for Trevor Lawrence. I think another cold game for Jacksonville as they squeaked one out. They squeaked one out against New England in this scenario. Now I have to travel again to another cold climate. I think the Mile High will get to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a second straight cold game where they eked one out previous week. This time, the defense is just too good in Denver. Complete opposite of my 40-13 prediction. This one would go, I don't know. Let's go 16-10 Denver.
Okay. And then, Nate, who are you taking here?
Yeah, if you know the scenario of Dazed and Confused, he kind of looks like the character Mitch played. And I would say that is he's good at getting high. He's going to have to go to Mile High. Trevor Lawrence is going to take the Jags. If this was Bo Nix, if I didn't see the regular season and all I remember was Bo Nix from last year's playoff run, it wouldn't be a question. But I've seen the Bo Nix from this year, and I'm not as impressed. Maybe second year, little hiccup, but it's going to be the Jags and the Rams in a probably gross Super Bowl for many fans across the United States.
All right, before we get into the Super Bowl prediction, I want to give a shout out to Albert. Albert, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. All right, this is for all the marbles here. Jaguars, Rams. Stacy, woo! Where are we going with this?
So in my bracket I did earlier today, I've got the Rams winning. I'm going to stick with that, even though it was Rams Broncos. I had a little different matchup in mind, but we'll get to that in a minute. But Rams for me, I just think it's a tough ask for first-year head coach Liam Cohen to go in there and take on Sean McVay, Stafford, Puka, Devontae. I like the Jags' offensive weapons, but the Rams guys are elite, and I just think they win the day.
JT.
I was Stacy. I had Rams Bills instead of Rams Broncos, so I'm taking Rams in this one. I think they would have beat the Bills. I think they're beating the Jags. So experience for the Rams. I think Stafford has just enough left to just bring home another one and kind of solidify him as being one of the better quarterbacks of all time. I know he's kind of got the hate. He got one. Everybody's like, he got one. I think Stafford gives us one and gets people really thinking about his legacy. I love the Rams in this scenario. I'm taking Rams.
Kyle?
I think as a group, we got the right AFC South division here, we got the wrong AFC South division. I got Houston actually getting this far. Jacksonville makes it here in this scenario, and they get romped by the LA Rams in the Super Bowl. So it's one of those not so fun games to watch either. It's going to be one of those ugly Super Bowls, like ones that we just were like, oh, how did this even happen? But it did.
88-10
Chargers Niners. We're going to get a Chargers Niners like 56-3 game.
Exactly.
Like the Steve Young 5 touchdown game back in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Nate, are you going to take the Jaguars just because of your spite for Stan Kroenke? Are you rolling?
You know what you did? You kind of
lit a fire
a little bit, but at the same time, I can still get a fuck Stan Kroenke in, but he will still win. Here, the Rams last month of the season have averaged over 35 points a game. Give them 70% of that, and you're still talking enough mid-20s, which should be enough to beat the Jags.
40 to 13, Nate?
40 to 13 seems like a stretch, but I will give them, I think 27-17. If you want to put that on a timestamp, that'll be my pick. But I don't have the Jags getting in. So congratulations, Rams. You've done it. I still put a little piece of St. Louis with that Rams team, so St. Louis gets another Super Bowl as well.
There you go.
And then for the tiebreaker, how many total points will be scored in the 25-26 NFL playoffs for 13 games? Wow, that's a big number.
It is. I played around with this, Jorge, earlier, and it was like I put 407 in there, and that was like an average of like a game between about an average of 30 points between the two. So if that tells you anything right there.
Okay.
Oh my God, it's in the entire playoffs. I thought it was
I thought it was just the Super
Oh
Bowl.
No! I put my. I'm gonna have to fix mine.
This is the entire playoff games, 13 games.
Yeah.
I said 59
51
points. That is not going to cut it.
I'm here to help you out.
You and I are on the same page, man. I totally messed up.
So I put 407 in there, and that was about an average of a total of 30, if that tells you anything.
You said 407? That's what we're going with?
No.
I'll do it.
When I was playing with it, I did the 407 divided by the 13, and it was like 31 points, and that's a total per game. So you probably want to go a little bit higher than that.
Yeah, I would do like 44 probably would be my average per game.
So we're doing 44 times what? How many games are there?
13, so that'd be 572 in Nate's prediction.
Oh, there would be no math.
All right, 572. That's what I like to hear out of you guys. I'm fixing mine.
Yeah.
You're just going to roll with Nate's number. I like it. 572.
Exactly.
You got to click yes there.
That does give me credit to 20 or 12. 20, no, I'll go 22% of the total money. It's a little over the normal, just so you know. So about 11 grand, 12 grand, something like that.
If we as a team hit $50,000, I think we're pulling hairs here at that point. So I think we're
Pulling hairs or splitting hairs?
yes, splitting hairs. Yeah.
You're out. 15,000 it is for me, is what I hear. Perfect. Thanks.
Submitting the bracket.
With that
All
bracket.
right, and that's going to do it for the. Oh, look at that!
Championship.
Ooh, this sucks. I hate it.
A little graphic right there. That's pretty sweet. So we were saying hour and a half. And we have got to the hour and a half part, and we have gotten through one of 3 challenges for tonight. So you're locked in with us for the rest of the night. Just letting you know.
Oh yeah,
It's going to start before we're done with this shit.
that's yeah.
I've already killed my bottle of wine. I'm already done. I'm on to the. I got a bottle of Woodford and I got a cherry Coke, and I'm.
I thought you had gin.
I think Jorge knew
Hey,
this.
he's got it all. He's got the whole.
Jorge-
He's got a full.
Jorge knew this was going to go over, so he brought the whole cabinet with him.
Good God, I'm going to be 48
Yeah,
years old.
Some people have a cabinet. I have bookshelves, and so my second row bookshelf. is
Nate,
all-
for your St. Louis story, as we're just in between here, I did go to school at Mizzou with Josh Kroenke, and he was a nice dude. I've met him plenty of times when I covered the Mizzou basketball team. He was a good dude back in the day.
I
So
hope he
even though his
gets
dad totally screwed the entire, state of Missouri, I did want to give a shout out to Josh Kroenke. He was a nice guy.
Fuck you, Josh Kroenke, if you're watching. Fuck you. Fuck you. Give a shit. Fuck you.
Josh Kroenke,
Thank
not
you.
friend of the pod.
Well,
Not
not
for
for the
me.
Nate. Yeah.
I really want
Tell him bring it back. We got to get a hold of Josh and be like, bring it back when your dad leaves you the team.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. Leave SoFi to come back to fucking
Yeah.
shit St. Louis. Yeah, real good chance of that. Maybe we'll get the Clippers.
Hey.
That might be a chance.
We still got the Cardinals. That's all that matters.
After this Josh Kroenke talk, you're kicked off the Cardinal team bandwagon. Get out of here. You start rooting for the Kings. Maybe White Sox.
All right, boss. What are we rolling with next? Which competition?
All right,
you wanna
guys. We are heading on over to the FFPC. We are going to be doing they've got 2 playoff challenges tonight. We are going to be doing the lower entry dollar amount of the 2. This is the $35 one. This is the $100,000 prize. There, you're going to pick 12 players on this one. You guys can see it on the screen here. You've got a QB, single QB. You've got 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 4 in your flex plus a tight end. And then you're also going to be picking a kicker and a defense. 1 person from each team in the playoffs. That is your limit. So we are going to be talking about teams to fade, teams to, really ride here. What are we going to do? That kind of thing. We got some strategy into this. This does pay out all the way to 1800th place. Okay. So there's 16,000 entry. That's where the cap is. I do tend to like these a little bit more because you're not playing against quite as large of a field as some of the other, different contests that are out there. So you do have a little bit better chance of winning this. And it's $35, so it's not a high entry point for a pretty nice payout for you. So let's get it going. We have got, everything locks before the wild card gets started. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't played on the FFPC site, it is tight end premium PPR. So you've got PPR with your 1 point, you got an extra 1 point for that tight end premium. So kind of something to keep in mind. So I want to ask you guys while I'm getting this all set up, who are your top scoring tight ends in the playoffs, and who would you trust the most in a playoff challenge if you're taking a tight end? So let's do that first. Let's start with our tight end there. Let's go with that one. I'm gonna click it over here.
I always think of these.
With Tucker Craft.
I don't know
right
what
there.
you guys, what your strategy is, but I always think on these. I'm never thinking about the guy I think is who can score the most just in a game. I'm always thinking who's gonna play the most, who's gonna get the most games in, right? So we're like even if it's like, oh, I can play George Kittle round 1, he scores 30, but I want to play, if I think Dalton Schultz and Houston's gonna make the Super Bowl, I want to take him because if he gets me 10 points a game, he's gonna score more points. So do we? And I'm just asking as a group. Do we go off what we just picked in the pigskin pick'em? Do we base it off of that, or do we go completely opposite? What's our strategy here? Are we kind of going with the teams we took, or are we going completely different? What do we think?
We can do totally different. Now, I was kind of as a roadmap on this. I was using a bracket that I put together a couple days ago. But for me, this is where I was kind of leaning when I was thinking about this, when I was see what you guys think. I want to throw it out there. Because we can put some other tight ends in. We're not just stuck with one tight end. But one of the ones that I really liked going into this wild card is Hunter Henry. Because really, who else from the Pats do you really want? Right? I mean, you're not going to take Drake May, right? Because we don't think the Pats are going to go on that long. So you really don't necessarily want your quarterback on a team that may not make it the entire way. That's why I just kind of like that. You don't really love any of their receivers. Sorry, Stephon Diggs. I mean, Travion Henderson, maybe. You really feel comfortable trusting Ramondre? Not so much. So for me, I was like, if I got to take somebody from the Pats, I like a Hunter Henry in a tight end premium situation.
Yeah, Stacey, I'm totally with you on that because it's really between him and George Kittle, but there's a lot of other weapons in San Francisco that we can go to. Whereas New England, that's one of their best players right there in its tight end premium. Hunter Henry has a very strong chance to play in at least 3 games. So yeah, I do like the Hunter Henry call at the tight end premium spot there.
And
Stacey, apologize. Did you say we can only take one player per team?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I totally agree. I kind of like the Hunter Henry pick then here. That's why I was thinking as Kyle said. I was thinking Kittle or Henry was maybe the pick.
And I like Kittle too. Kittle was on my list of guys to start too. From the Niners there, especially like in a tight end situation where who are going to be the guys they're a little more top scoring. But let's go ahead and throw in Hunter Henry and we'll start it from there. We'll work it from there.
So here's the strategy, Stacey, I want to get your opinion on is when I've done these, as you've said, kind of looking at our brackets, if we had a consensus, which we did not come to a consensus outside of one, and that was one matchup, which is the Carolina Panthers. It's the only team that we think as a group is only going to play one game.
Yep.
And Carolina, if we have to play one game, we want to maximize the points from that team. And I think that it's really, not to go reverse and get you off topic or anything, but is that a strategy that you sometimes use in this? Is the reverse? I know this team's going to play one game. Am I going to maximize the most? And is that then, do you say, you know what? Kicker, generally speaking, is going to be the least scoring. I'm going to focus on kicker from that team. Or in this case, do I maximize Ted McMillan, Rico Dowdle? Is there a chance that it's somebody else from the Carolina Panthers for you?
So for me, I was thinking about what do we do with the Panthers, right? And I'm so glad that you brought this up, Nate. So what about their defense? I know it's against the Rams. Do we trust that enough to throw that in there? Do we think that because this isn't a crazy defensive scoring. This is a pretty standard defensive scoring over here. Or do we feel comfortable enough to go with the Tet, right? Because, I mean, he's had great games. He's had not so great games. Do we think they're the Panthers offense? Like, what do we think? How are they going to do?
The positive for that is the negative game script for Bryce Young and Tet McMillan. So they'll be trailing in the game, and he could put up a decent number. But, yes, like Nate said, it's probably going to be a one and done. Do we want to spend that on a wide receiver? Yeah. That might have – he might put
the other thing I was just looking at, if I'm doing the math right, we have 12 spots and we have 14 teams, right? So there's 2 teams we don't need anybody from. If we all think that the Panthers are going down round 1.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. No, okay.
Yeah, we could even
want eliminate Carolina?
The other thing I just looked at, I just realized there was 12. And I was like, ooh, do we even want to mess with a Panthers player if we think they're for sure going to be the team that's out, and we want to take someone on a team that we all pick to lose? But if we're like, they might win, we could get bonus points. Do we just say, hey, number 1 team out is Panthers, let's not take anyone on the Panthers?
Yeah, let's hold off on the Panthers. We don't have to make a Panthers decision just yet, so let's hang off on them. Why don't we move over to quarterback? Because I got some thoughts on this one, right? So we want a quarterback that's probably gonna be your highest scoring position, most likely, right? So we want somebody who's going to be in it for the long haul, maybe all the way to the Super Bowl. But if we think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl, Would we really
I believe
rather?
you. I think Stafford's the pick here.
Devontae?
I think Stafford's got to be the guy. If we think they're going to win the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, I think your number one player you have to have that goes all the way to keep your points up has to be your quarterback. I've done a bunch of these in the past. I feel like no one's ever won that their quarterback didn't make the Super Bowl. So that's where I'm leaning. Like T-Law would be like if I'm going – since we had them in the Super Bowl, if I'm going against consensus, trying to like beat everybody else, thinking that they're not gonna, I want to do something opposite, I take T-Law. But if I'm going save points, I think they're going to get there. I would go Stafford. So I'd do Stafford or T-Law personally, if for quarterbacks.
See,
I don't know what everybody else thinks.
I would and I know we said we're not going off of what we just did in terms of the bracket challenge, but like. I will, for the sake of this argument here. We have in the divisional round Rams Bears. Well, the Rams don't need to put up a ton of points to beat the Bears. At least, Matt Stafford doesn't need to do that. You look at Seahawks 49ers, like the quarterbacks are not going to be the ones deciding this matchup. If anybody needs to overperform in the playoffs, it's Trevor Lawrence to get all the way to the Super Bowl if we're going to be following that logic here. So I don't know. I think I would roll with Trevor Lawrence, and then even though it is the Rams that we're picking in the Super Bowl over the Jaguars, garbage time is garbage time, whether it's in the regular season or if it's in the Super Bowl. Like, give me the extra yardage, give me the extra points, even if it doesn't translate into a victory.
Well, this is what I wanted to ask you: is would you take Stafford because you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice Puka and Devontae then? Right. And even if you're so inclined, a Kyron Williams, right? That means you're completely boxing yourself out of those three players. And I don't know that I'm willing to give up a Puka or a Devontae.
So that's the replacement cost strategy as well, as if you figure I'm taking Lawrence, I can pivot to Puka, Devontae Adams, even a Kyron Williams if you really wanted to get crazy. But I would much rather have Lawrence and Nakua versus Stafford and Jacoby Myers. Now Britton Strange from Jacksonville is one that personally I have no problem with. I think if we're using our bracket, he seems to be in the tight end premium scoring would make more sense than trying to figure out because I don't want to use it on ETN. No offense to him, but with only 2 running back spots, I feel like there's an opportunity for someone to maybe an RJ Harvey if we think Denver goes on, that would be better. But that's what I love about this contest is every time we say one thing, my head starts spinning and I go, wait, what if we use Denver's defense? And then you correct me and say that the scoring for defense isn't that great. And I just talk in circles. So go back to Stacey. You keep us going.
Quick question, Stacey, because this will help clear things up, at least for me. Okay. Is it 4 points for a passing touchdown or 6?
4.
Okay. All right. Because
so that leans a little more Lawrence.
Stafford all the way.
Yeah.
Right.
So a little more Lawrence if it's only 4 because the running upside. So here's the thing for me. I feel like the safe play is Stafford because we think they're going to make the Super Bowl.
For sure.
Lawrence, I feel like, is the swing for the fences play. I personally think the Bills are going to beat them in the first round, so that's where I would be hesitant on Lawrence. But if we think Jacksonville wins that game, I swing for the fences. I think you go T-Law.
Well, JT, that's why I like Josh Allen in the 4 points for a passing because I agree. I think the Bills could have a chance to make a run if they get out of that first round.
I like the Bills, so I would be mine Josh Allen myself. But it's good. What do you guys think?
This is why we can do this. Is the $35, guys. We can do as many of these as we
can
want.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
Just throw money around.
$7 a pop.
Put Trevor in there for now. We can always switch it, but let's put Trevor in there for now.
Yeah, I'm good with that. And since we were talking about the Rams, do we just have a consensus that we think it's Puka for sure?
Yes.
I'm in agreement. I think that's.
Can I make a Devontae Adams case?
You can.
It's contrarian. It's contrarian. I like it.
Well,
we can have 2 people from the same team. Only can be one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there can only be one.
I'm worried about the hamstring. It's the only thing that kills me about Devontae.
Oh, baby, he's fine. He's been fine for the last 3 weeks. They've just been
all right.
fine. Yeah.
I'm more impressed, more than our acumen for football and fantasy football knowledge. I'm impressed that we have movie references down pat here at Fantasy and Frames. You just threw out the Highlander there, Stacy. For those who are watching, may not actually even know that that's a movie. That is a movie. There can be only one.
I bet Aiden's never seen that one.
He hasn't seen that one, but he's watched all of Seinfeld. Like that doesn't things don't compute.
Puka and Devontae, they are real and spectacular. My case for Devontae is that he's just a red zone machine. Like when he's been he's been, what I gotta look. How many red zone touchdowns does he have? Because it's absurd. Does anybody know offhand, or do I need to look this up?
I'll look it up right now.
It's pretty.
I'm pretty sure he led the league. He was right. He led the league in that.
I bet he probably still leads the league, even though he was out for 3 weeks. I don't hate Puka either. I think honestly, I'd probably do different lineups and take one of each is probably what I would do. When we get to the fast draft, you can take multiple players from each team. And I put together one earlier today that has Puka and Devontae in it. I honestly don't really think you can go wrong here, really, with these two. I think they both bring so much value to a playoff roster. I think we have to have one of them. I really don't care here because I'm probably going to do another one of these. But
you got to do one with Puka and one with Devontae. But I like the Devontae one, Stacy, because like I said, it's contrarian. And when they get to the red zone, they go to him. Puka gets all the yards when Devontae's playing. Yeah. But when they get down to that red zone, he is the target down there, and he can rack up touchdowns quick.
If it was half point PPR, I wouldn't even full point PPR. I still pivot towards Puka. You don't have to do much to convince me. You know what I mean? Like one extra drink right here, and all of a sudden, I've never even known Puka's name. And
as you take the extra drink, yeah, exactly.
Well, so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a little bit of a contrarian when you're in kind of rosters like this and you're building in these kind of contests.
What is that say?
Because eventually, you're going to be going against people that have similar players, and Puka's so popular.
Correct.
Do you think that there's value then in pivoting to a Devontae over a Puka just to make yourself just a little bit different? You don't want to get too cute, right? We're not going to go put in like Colby Parkinson in here, okay? Like we're going to take one of the two big guys. But I mean, that's kind of my thing too, is like, gosh, like Puka's been unbelievable, especially of late. But does that mean that he's going to be overdrafted in these? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that what I would think is that having Trevor should be not probably totally, against the grain, but I think it should be enough of a separation that percentage won't hurt us by having Puka versus the masses. Because I have to assume that Trevor is probably going to be the third most owned quarterback in this format. I would think Stafford would be one, unless people are smart like all of us and actually talk through it. But it's easy to put Stafford in for exactly what JT said, because that is how you win this, though. Because you don't want to go into the Super Bowl and have your defense and your kicker playing left and hope to make up the points needed that the other 500 close would be. And Jorge, that said, one beer away from talking about sleeper tight ends.
Yes.
Nice.
Brenton Strange was a sleeper tight end.
I like Puka just because we did take Lawrence. Like if we went with Stafford, I'd be like, okay, good. I like Puka in JSN here.
Yeah,
I think Jason has to be the Seattle guy. I think you're absolutely just overthinking it if you don't take JSN as your other guy.
Well, who else from Seattle do you really want, honestly? Do you want to have to deal with Walker and Charbonnet? You sure don't. Do you trust Darnold over JSN? No. So that's an easy one for me, is JSN.
Yep.
That's an easy pick.
It'll be chalk, don't get us wrong, but you got to – sometimes you have to go chalk.
Sometimes you have to have a couple chalk players to stay even with people so that your Trevor Lawrence can win it for you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Are there any other receivers while we're here that we like, that we feel good about, or do we want to pivot to a different position?
Let's pivot to running back real quick, because now that I know I'm kind of feeling good about CMC. I know a lot of people are too on this. but I kind of like Jalen Warner or Kenny G for the
G.
Steelers. If they win a couple games, I kind of like, and you got full point PPR. I kind of like Kenny G as a sneaky pick.
Yeah.
If they can beat Houston and win and play, at least get 2 games in, I feel like he could be the best Steelers player. You know, if you're going to take one, I feel like he's the guy I feel the most confident in getting you points.
Did you just get in my brain, JT? Because I've been thinking about putting him in here for that specific reason all day. I was like, who else do I want from the Steelers other than Darnell Washington, and I can't have him. So obviously it's Kenny G.
Yeah.
And let me give you 2 picks that I think you guys will like based off of how you guys feel. Like, I don't agree with this, but the mass you guys do, so I'm going to roll with that. If you guys feel that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat the Houston Texans, then I think we should definitely take the Houston Texans defense. It's the best defense on the board. Get us some points. You think they're one and done. Let's go with that. And then you know what? The other one and done. Roll with Tedderola McMillan then. He's a receiver that's going to be in a negative game script against the LA Rams. They're going to lose that game, but you know what? He's capable of scoring a touchdown. He's capable of giving us 20 points. Hey, that's 2 one and dones, but they could put some points on the board.
So that would need to. That's exactly what I was saying. We have to pick. We're going to pick 2 teams that we don't want a player from, and if we didn't do
the Packers,
if we didn't do this exercise with the Steelers going to win 2 games, the Steelers probably would have been my team that I probably would have avoided a player from, just because I have the Texans beating them. Right? You know, I get it. I hope I'm wrong, and Carolina would have been the other one, just to avoid anybody from it. But if we do that, then Stacy, you're right. Is if it's the Packers and we're torn between that game, is there someone in that matchup? Is there someone on Green Bay or someone on Chicago that is an absolute must-have? Because I think you can make a case on Chicago. Who?
Swift.
Josh Jacobs.
Oh.
I also just real quick, I'm going to throw this in there. Just real quick, I'm going to throw this. We're fading the Panthers. I kind of think the other team we need to fade is the Chargers. I don't trust anybody on the Chargers offense.
You want to trust Hampton?
So if it's me, I'm
the only one I would trust.
The Chargers as the 2 teams I don't take. Is probably the only person I would take from the Chargers is maybe
go Dicker. Take Cameron Dicker. The game's going to be close.
Dicker as
scoring.
Dicker would be maybe the guy I would take. But like I said, I probably am fading those 2 teams if I'm fading someone and not taking one, because I don't trust the Chargers offense to put up a bunch of points. Mm-mm. So if I'm fading someone not taking, if we're going 2 teams, we're not taking anyone, Dicker would probably be the one guy I would take from the Chargers. If we didn't take him, I wouldn't take anybody from the Chargers, I think.
I trust Dicker pretty well. Let's keep him. I'm gonna write him down. Let's keep him in mind. Because Nate, I'm kind of like Hampton too. I wouldn't necessarily.
Hampton would probably be the only other guy I would consider taking.
Yeah,
but it's like, do you use a flex or running back spot on a guy we think is only going to play 1 game? That's the tough part.
Let's check and see. So, how do you guys feel about the Broncos and RJ Harvey? Because he was one I was thinking about earlier today too.
Yeah, I'd be all on RJ Harvey.
Do you like him more than a Sutton or a Troy Franklin? I don't like any of their tight ends. So
no, I don't like the Sutton would be the only other option that I would feel comfortable that no matter the situation, game script, if they're up big, I still think Sutton would see enough volume to avoid that. They're up, they just run the ball completely, which I don't think that any of us think that's going to be the case, because we've been so torn on Denver winning the games. I don't think we think they're get ahead by double digits and run the clock out. I think they're still going to be needing to execute on 3rd downs and actually still go through the air. But I think RJ Harvey's probably the one that in playoffs, if we know anything at all about Sean Payton, is that he's going to want to rely on the running back to at least try to preserve the game.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we're good with Harvey then, everybody, right?
I like Harvey. Harvey would be like Nate said, it'd be, to me, is Harvey or Sutton. I just don't know how you can look at anybody else. I think it's those two guys. I think the easy one for me, what you think? Eagles
Yeah.
got to go Barkley, right?
Ooh,
feel like
I
it's
was going
gotta
to
be
go Dallas
Barkley.
Goddard.
See,
You,
I was going to go Goddard.
do
and
you
tight
take
end.
it? Do you tight ends though? Like,
Yeah.
I know understand you're like, but if you're gonna play Henry, or my thing is like, if you like Goddard, do you play Goddard at tight end and then take Travion Henderson and put him in instead?
Well, we got
Henry
all
if
those
you go
flex
Goddard
spots.
at tight end.
yeah, we have 4 flex spots, so we
got
could
four
do.
flex spots.
Yeah, I hate playing a tight end flex unless I have to, especially if it's not tight end premium.
But it's
Jorge's
tight end
heard me say
premium.
this 100 times on the freaking pregame show. I
It
love
is tight end
I love
premium,
tight ends
though.
and tight
It
end
is tight
premium.
end premium.
Yeah.
It's tight end
Oh,
premium.
how
though,
much?
JT, so you might like that.
Oh, it
1
is 1.5?
Full point. Full
1
point.
A full point?
Yeah.
Oh,
So you
now
get
you're
PPR
now you're
on the
speaking my
yeah.
language. Okay,
Yeah.
now I like we're saying.
Oh shit! Here we go. Now
I didn't
it's,
know it was
it's all
a
out.
point.
Brent
Now-
Strange.
now
Hey,
it's
somebody
tight ends,
should listen to the rules.
Former tight ends.
Read the rules,
Put
right?
Brent
Somebody listen to the
Strange in
rules.
there.
Jeez.
Well, okay, the first flex, like CMC, like we're taking somebody from San Francisco.
CMC's my boy. I'm on
Has to be
CMC all day.
Has
It's
to be
got to
CMC.
be.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. CMC.
It's not that Ho Juwan Jennings, that's for sure.
That Joanne.
That's great. That's
still-
pretty great.
I want that known.
As much as I want to say it's Goddard and Kittle, like in tight end premium where we want to get juicy, I still think it's McCaffrey and Saquon. As much as I do think Dallas Goddard, I think Goddard and Saquon could actually be very comparable in total points scored, and going the Goddard direction would separate us from the masses, and it would give you that edge just in case. I really think that, especially in game 1, Saquon, it's only one game. We have him winning 3, right? And then we
Yes.
have 1, 2.
No.
We have him winning. We have him winning 2 games, playing 3.
No.
I want
I'm
to
bounced by Niners.
piggyback off of that, Nate,
Well, I do.
because Nate, I do like the fact of getting Saquon in there, because if you guys think that the Eagles are going to go that far, it's going to be because of Saquon Barkley. If they're going to go back, if they're going to get that far, it's because they're running the
Totally
football
agree.
like they did in the beginning of the season, and they're going to give him opportunities because they were winning games when they were running the ball with Barkley, and then A.J. Brown cried for the ball, and he was doing good. He was getting the ball, but they weren't. They kind of slipped up a little bit. I think now in the playoffs, they're going to turn around. They're going to tell A.J. Brown, like, look, we're here. Trust us. We're going to run the football with Saquon because that's how we were winning games earlier in the season. So if you guys feel that Saquon's going to take the distance, or the Eagles are going to go the distance, they have, I guess I should say, if you think they have an opportunity to go the distance, it's going to be because of Saquon Barkley.
Well, not just that, but like if you were going to count on a player to have a huge monster game out of the teams remaining that we haven't picked from, it's Saquon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, is there anybody else that you're like having 100% confidence in doing that?
I mean, I don't feel confident
kinda-
about A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. Like you could talk me into a Goddard, spot here in a tight end premium, but I like Saquon too, and I think that is probably why if they go on, if they beat the Niners, it's because of Saquon.
So Stacy and JT.
What do you think about Saquon, Josh Jacobs, and James Cook for these 3 flexes?
Cook's the only one I want on the Bills.
From the
if we're
Bills,
not-
right? Like if you're not taking Josh Allen,
Oh, yeah, for
taking
sure.
Josh
It's
Allen, I
Cook
think
for sure.
Cook has to be the guy, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He led the league in rushing.
So
So let me ask you
Yeah,
about.
and I like Saquon. You go
Yeah,
there.
Jay-
Then the question is,
Let's go with the team
now
that
we
we're
got
gonna
to
have
fight over
questions about.
Bears and Packers.
Hold on,
Ooh,
JT,
Bears,
let Nate
Packers
settle for a second. Nate, what are you going to say?
We have to figure out a player from it. It's not just about filling a spot on the lineup. It's trying to figure out the one player from that specific team that we think is going to be a difference maker over the course of what do we have? Chicago winning 1, 2, 1. Playing 2 games.
Mhm.
Is Colston Loveland an option that we should consider in tight end premium? If we look at the last month, he was 3rd amongst all tight ends in receptions. He had obviously gotten to the end zone 3 of the 4 games, or 3 times out of the 4 games. Is that worthy of filling that last flex spot?
So I'll just say this now and then quickly mute JT's microphone and saying, if you don't take Luther Burden from the Bears, then what are we doing here? Because I know
I don't disagree. He's been phenomenal.
Right.
But compared to in a tight end premium,
No, I got you.
I have to say Loveland's outscored him over the last month.
And this is just in PPR, so not even accounting for a tight end premium, but over the since week 13, Colson Loveland 13.6 points per game, ranked, that's 7th overall for tight ends.
Okay, so then the question then is he taking a flex or is he taking a Hunter Henry spot?
Flex.
We're locked in on Hunter Henry because I don't know if there's any.
There's
well,
nobody else.
No one else in the bats.
Yeah.
No.
Unless we shoot for the
moon
with
You
Travion
guys
Henderson.
wouldn't want to go Loveland at tight end and Travion Henderson.
Right. Okay. All right.
Just throwing it
So-
out there.
Colson Loveland, then there we go. Number 10 overall pick.
Yeah, I like Loveland. I think there might be a case to make for DeAndre Swift too, but you do not have to talk me into putting as many tight ends as possible in one of these.
So
Okay.
if we're using the last month, Loveland is averaging 15.2 full point PPR per game. Loveland is 15.1 without the tight end premium.
So stable.
Again, this last month though, we've had, it's weird to use when you're talking week 18 and you're talking situations where there's been injuries to the receiving core, et cetera, but I'm trying to appease to the tight end premium people in the group, which is JT and Stacy, and especially after the, not necessarily agreeing with you guys on all the other picks. I'm a man of the people, more of a politician than anything.
Well, it looks like we've got our kicker. I'm good to go with Dicker on this one because our other option is going to be with Green Bay, Chicago. I don't love necessarily care about the Green Bay kicker. Is there someone who else are we missing?
So we're fading the whole Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, we're fading.
Yeah,
Green
we
Bay.
are, and I'm okay
Josh
with that.
Jacobs.
I don't know that you can pick other than Jacobs really, but then I don't know consistently who you could rely on. Am I still a homer, and do I think they have a chance to beat the Bears? Yes, I do. But I don't know that I would trust a single player.
That's where I would go on this is like, do we feel like the Bears here in this pick between Dicker and McManus for me would be like, do we like the Packers have a better chance to beat the Bears or the Chargers have a better chance to beat the Patriots? Because we want 2 games, right?
Yeah.
I think the guy is going to play at least 2 games. So for me, if we thought overall that the Packers had a better shot at winning, I would take McManus. I think Dicker's a better kicker, but if we think that they're going to lose in the first round of the Pats in New England, that's a hard place to kick. I would take McManus if you guys think the Packs going to upset them. That's how I would look at it, at least.
One thing I want to point out, looking at this roster, is the Colson Loveland flex play, which I know it's tight end premium. But if you guys think the Bears are going to play in 2 games, you think Colson Loveland's going to outscore DeAndre Swift 2 games? They're not going to run the ball really with Kyle Monangai, in my opinion. I think they're going to go with experience in the playoffs. And DeAndre Swift, to me, is going to get a big workload. I understand the tight end premium, but do you really think that Colson Loveland's going to outscore DeAndre Swift for 2 games? Yes or no?
Coming into this, my pick from the Bears was Swift.
Okay.
But I still like Loveland, though. I think that's a fun pivot,
It's just a question to ask. Do you
I'm
think
just telling you right now, if we get Loveland, the last 2 weeks, Loveland, now that's an if. 6 catches, 94 yards and a touchdown. 10 catches, 91 yards and a touchdown with 2 points per reception. That's 20 points plus the 9. That's 29. That's 36 points for him against Detroit. And was that 12 plus 9, 23 points and 36 points the last 2 weeks. Now, is he going to get them playoffs? Who knows? But just to kind of throw that out there, where on the other side, Swift, 40 yards rushing, 54 yards rushing, 58 yards rushing, 10 carries, 9 carries, 13 carries the last 3 weeks of the season. The 2 touchdowns against San Francisco absolutely saved him in fantasy. Outside of those, he would have been toast.
Who would the
Just saying.
Bears?
Just
who
throwing
the
that
Bears
out there.
play- Who do the Bears if the Bears beat the Packers? Who do they play after that?
Well, how we
They
have
would-
play the Rams.
They would either host, most likely, if the Eagles win, they'd play the Eagles.
Right.
If the Niners win and the Rams win, they would play the Rams. So that's where you get the big thing, because so if the Eagles beat the Niners and the Rams win, then they'll get the Eagles and the Rams will play Seattle. If the Niners and the Rams win, then they get the Niners. They get the Rams and the Seattle gets the Niners.
Okay, so in the last month, here's the teams that have been giving up the fewest points against the tight end. The Packers have been giving up only 9.5 points. That's fourth fewest. The Eagles give up the second fewest overall in the last month. If we look at the Rams, they're a little bit better. They give up the, let's see,
points.
11 points. Yeah.
And JT, to your point about DeAndre Swift's stats not being so high, they ran the ball a lot with Kyle Monangai in the regular season here towards the end of the season. I don't see that happening. I see a complete reversal in the playoffs, not going with a rookie in a playoff game. I think Swift is going to carry a huge load. Do you agree with that? That the carries for Swift are going to be higher than what he got the last three
I think they should lean back more on him. I'm a little surprised at how few. That's why I just pulled up the stats. I was a little surprised how few carries he had the last 3 weeks. To be honest,
it's hard for me to envision a scenario where you lean on a player to help you get into the playoffs and find success down the stretch. And then you get to the playoffs. It's like, nope. All right. Thanks for everything. Peace out. DeAndre, front and center. What's the incentive to not continue to roll with what you've been doing to get you to this point so far is my question.
I know he wasn't a rookie necessarily, but the usage of that Ben Johnson had for
Montgomery
Gibbs in Detroit was telling that he had some trust. Completely different scenarios, of course. I'm not trying to compare Kyle Monangai and Gibbs versus David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift. If it's close enough, when it comes to a format like this, if we have two different players that we think are going to be separated by a half a point, sometimes it's not even about the point total. It's about diversifying the player's portfolio to give you that edge. And I don't think there's going to be as many people picking Loveland as I do DeAndre Swift, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe more people are leading. And that's where it, for me, is trying to separate is you want to gain, even if they score the same, is my 14 points, 15 points going to be better than the alternative because someone else is going to have to take a different, well, I guess when you have 4 flex, you don't have to always take different positions, but I'd like to lean on Loveland as just changing the narrative versus the majority. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of goes into the gamesmanship of this whole strategy too.
Well, to round this out, I feel like it's one of those situations where like, okay, are we taking Dicker or are we taking a kicker from either the Panthers or Green Bay? And it's Dicker the kicker, right? That's the best option we have available out of those.
What's the Panthers kicker situation? I think that there won't be a terrible weather situation that he's going to have to deal with.
But he's also going to get fewer opportunities if we're taking him to be one and done.
Well, yeah, so the Chargers, so is Dicker, though, because we don't think they're going to.
But we do think that game's going to be a little bit closer, so they're going to kick the ball more so than, say, Carolina, even on the first drive. If it's like 4th and short, I think Carolina's going to say, we're going to need points in this game. We're not going to kick the field goal to even go up 3-0 on the first drive. They're going to shoot for the moon and try to score a touchdown.
In other words, Bryce Young legacy game upcoming that nobody saw.
He had 3 touchdowns against them last time in week 1. But it was also on 15 completions or something like that, I think. So it was very unlikely to recoup.
I'm leaning Dicker the kicker here. I think just consistency's sake. I think he's the more talented kicker.
Yeah.
How do we feel about this lineup overall?
I love it. I love that we went with Gainwell. I love that pick right there. Barkley, McCaffrey, Cook. I think in our flexes we cleaned up really well.
Yeah.
And to use Loveland and Hunter Henry as the tight end premiums and Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got pretty contrarian too with that Kenny Gainwell, even the RJ Harvey, even Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. I don't think a lot of people are really going to be on that. And the Colson Loveland, that's as contrarian as you can get. I love it. I think we did a nice little mix of studs and some guys that could pop.
Yeah. There's one fun thing that they do here too. So when it gets to Super Bowl time, Super Bowl points are going to count as double the points towards your team's total. So each week your score is going to be added to your team's total. It's going to accumulate during the entire duration of the playoffs going to the Super Bowl. And then once that Super Bowl hits, those points are going to count as double. So, if we've got, let's say it's a Jacksonville, say Trevor, or even a Denver, you've got Harvey, and then Puka, I think that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I like
especially with Jacksonville Rams. I mean, garbage time. Trevor Lawrence trailing against the Rams.
Yeah.
That is going to crush it over the top. I love that.
I love it. All right, so let's move on to our final one of the night, our fast draft. Kyle, take us home.
Oh yes, the fast draft. Sorry, I need to pull that up here. So this one is.
Do you have that pulled up? Do I not need to pull that up, or do I?
I think. Yeah,
Yes.
I think probably you need to pull that up.
I do.
Yes, that
Okay.
would probably help me greatly here. So the fast draft is we pick 6 individuals, and the captain spot is 2x. The second spot is 1.75. The third is 1.5, and then a 1.25, and then there's 2 other spots that are just 1.0. Oh, good, you got it pulled up there. Yeah, the Super Slam. So, guys, my strategy going into this, looking at this, is we want a team that we all feel that is going to play the most games and get to the Super Bowl. So, initially, I thought probably not going to want to select anyone in a bye week except maybe one. And that's it. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
the bye
thought,
weeks and these kind of things, I feel like they kill you, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But how many games do we have Seattle playing? Because, Jackson Smith and Jigba is a guy that
We have them
want.
going all the way to two games to the championship.
So do we think that JSN is good enough to at least put in at least a 1.0 spot?
See, here's the thing, right? This is where I keep going back and forth. If I want the play, if we have Seattle going to the conference and then we have the Rams going to the Super Bowl, why would I not want to capitalize on the highest of upsides here and put JSN and Puka at 2 times and at 1.7 times? Just like give me all the points I can max out of them versus taking their floor at having 1 time or 1.25 times.
I'm with you on that. I think the 2.0 has got to be Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
Anybody disagree?
I agree.
I'm
with
100%
Puka.
in on that.
What I might disagree a little bit is that if I heard you correctly, is taking the 1.75 with JSN. I don't want to ever have the 2 highest point scores guaranteed to not play. No, let me ask a question though, and this is my ignorance. Are we talking about? Does this have any variance as we go further into the playoffs, or is just strictly total?
I believe it's strictly total.
Okay, so it doesn't change. It's like
Nope. And I agree with you, Nate. I was actually, if we're going to use JSN, I was going to want to put him in the 1.0 spot. He's good enough to get us enough points for straight points.
yeah,
That I would be happy with the 1.0 and then use guys. I was actually going to do a full Ram stack if you guys were on board with Puka being 2.0 and Kyron Williams at a 1.75 to get a heavy volume. And then even Devontae Adams at 1.5. I don't know how you guys feel about a full Ram stack, but if we think they're going to go to the Super Bowl, playing the most
100%.
games,
Absolutely agree with that.
so
I
that's
would
what,
probably put Kyron at the 1.5 just in case, because
okay.
McVay's pretty much proven that the whole reason he's splitting carries as much as he has is to keep both people healthy. I don't think. Yeah, I would feel more comfortable with him at the 1.5, and I mean,
And
Puka
just for-
Devontae at both 1.20 and 1.75. Stacey,
And
you have Puka above Devontae in this format. Is this half point or full point?
Ooh.
Well, let me go back. I'll pull it up right now.
While you're looking it up, and just also for clarity for everybody to know,
It is full point PPR. Nick, to answer your
there's
question.
no quarterbacks either. This is just running backs, wide receivers,
Correct.
and tight ends. So I wanted to make that clear. There's no quarterbacks in this. It's just running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. And what'd you say,
And
full point PPR?
Yes, full point
Yeah.
PPR.
And then, by the way, folks, like literally, this game is so awesome because you just pick your players and then assign your multipliers. Use the promo code frames, and literally you get matched up to $50. So do this before tomorrow or early tomorrow morning for game start. To recap, though, at 2 times the multiplier, everybody agree Puka Nakua is who we're rolling with at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I do like what Nate said, flipping. I mean, I had Kyron at the 1.75, but I do like what you said there, Nate. Get him down to 1.5, and we could go Devontae Adams at 1.75, and maybe that makes us a little bit different as well.
Yeah, is there anybody from the AFC? JT, of course, I know your answer might vary than the others, and I think you and I might be in agreement with the Bills going as far as we had envisioned if we have them beating Jacksonville, that James Cook would be a great spot at the 1.25. But if the consensus is on Jacksonville, is there a player on that specific team? Because they're going to get the max amount of games played too.
I want Travis Etienne, to be honest with you, especially, and I'd rather have him at a higher multiplier because of the opening game versus Buffalo, who can't stop the run to save their life.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So like at the 1.25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, that would work for me. I don't know what everybody else thinks. So let's. How about we do this? Let's start from the bottom and work our way up here. Which
And we
player?
can always pick our players and then move them around to which
Right,
multiplier we want
Sure,
to.
absolutely.
I've got one open on my phone that I'm doing at the same time I'm in this
too.
one.
Me too,
So I'm
yeah.
doing it at the same time as you guys. So I'm like, I like Puka at the 2 for sure. So I'm in on Puka. I'm not going to necessarily make mine the exact same as we do here because we got to mix it up just a bit. But I think Puka at the 2 times.
But I do like Kyle, your point, like as far as JSN with the 1, and that is he already has a high enough floor, especially given how far we're projecting Seattle to go in the playoffs, that we don't necessarily need. Like that's not going to push us over the top where we know Puka and Devontae at 2 and 1.75 would just obliterate.
Right.
So going around the frames here at the starting at the bottom. Is everybody comfortable with JSN going at the 1 multiplier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty much about as easy as 15 to 18 points per game. Maybe could be 3 games. Could be 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's good enough to hold it down for us.
All right. At another 1x multiplier, whose floor are we feeling comfortable with without any of a multiplier here amongst the players? I know that's a huge loaded question with all the players that are playing. This may be a little contrarian here. CMC, for me, is somebody who I'm also very comfortable with their floor.
Jorge, I was just going to say CMC is my guy, especially if we think, Barkley or him, depending on who we think is going to win either Eagles or Niners in that game. Depending on who you like better, if you think the Eagles are going to win, I would take Barkley. If you think the Niners are going to win, I would take CMC. I have the Niners, so I'm taking CMC. He's in my mind right now, but depending on what you guys say, that's who I would take. I would either take Barkley or CMC, depending on what team you think is going to win that game.
And do we like him at the 1.7? Where are we taking him, at the 1 or the 1? Where are we thinking about taking him?
So the reason why I brought up the 1 is because his floor is good enough to where he doesn't need to be compensated by having the additional booster. And the fact that it is a PPR, full point PPR, or full PPR. I hate people who say full point or half point because point is implied in the PPR. Anyhow, in the full PPR, I would feel comfortable with CMC. Anybody disagree with that, or should we capitalize upside here with CMC and give him a higher multiplier. Because here's where it gets tricky. It's like, are you using the multiplier to max out or to compensate? You know what I mean? Like
I got him in the 1-5. Jorge, I put him in the 1-5, but that's only because I took Niners to win that game. And I also am like on the fence that I think the Niners, if they win that game, could beat Seattle and win 2. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm going Niners train that I think they can win 2 games. So I'm taking CMC and I'm putting him at the 1-5 in mine.
What about everybody else? Kyle, what are your thoughts? Do you feel comfortable with that at the 1-5?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually, I do, because if San Francisco does pull out the upset, and a lot of people put JSN in that 2 spot, that's going to screw them completely over, and we'll still be alive and well. So I do like that. Good call there by JT. Yeah, put Christian McCaffrey there in the 1.5.
Yeah, same. I'm on board with you guys. I think that's really solid pick.
Okay, so going 1.5, going CMC. All right. So now we have the 1.75, 1.25, and the 1 multiplier. How are we utilizing the rest of these? If we're going to the 1.75, are we compensating or maxing out upside here? Nate, what are your thoughts?
Which side of the bracket are we wanting to look at? If we're talking about the AFC side,
sure.
Personally, with so much inconsistency amongst just the 5 of us, I mean, I think that each one of us flip-flopped from the other in some comparison to how we thought the whole thing was going to go, where in reality, our consensus is that Jacksonville makes the Super Bowl, but yet 2 of us would probably have put Buffalo in the Super Bowl. And I think by that being said, and in agreement, we also consensus-wise have Pittsburgh playing 2 games that I have to imagine in a format like this, nobody's going to put anybody from the Steelers on there. And a person like Kenneth Gainwell,
I got Gainwell in my 1.0 spot.
Yeah,
is going to separate you so much. And maybe you want to make that DK Metcalf. I could make a case for either one of those 2. I know you maybe want to say Jaylen Warren, but you're going to have to choose a side at running back.
PPR side is Gainwell.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yep. So where are we?
Know how excited, but it's only it's $10. And I know that's a stupid bettor's mentality like myself that goes, oh, it's only, but that does give you a definite competitive edge that if Pittsburgh does get to play 2 games, heaven forbid they play 3, as JT pointed out very well, might I say, you gain a huge edge over everybody else, just in general. But that doesn't mean that I want to stack multiple Steelers. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be easy to say that. It's like, oh, well, if we're going to do that, you might as well throw in DK and then get double. You got to be conservative.
That's risky. I like the call to stack the Rams. I really wanted to do like a Ram stack. We all think they're going to make the Super Bowl. Yeah. So my thought process was get all these Rams who's going to play the most games, like Puka up there, get Devontae up there in the 1.75 or Kyron Williams, however you want to do it. And get a Kenny Gainwell in that 1.0 spot, like you said, Nate, because even if they were to lose that first game, like I think they will, but he's if they were to lose, it wouldn't hurt us in the 1.0 spot, especially in a PPR format where he will catch the ball a lot. He's been catching the ball a lot from Aaron Rodgers now. Maybe he finds the end zone. I think even in that 1.0 spot, Kenny Gainwell, whether they win or lose, does not hurt us.
Yeah. I mean, my advice to anybody listening that's playing this is if you think they're going to lose the game, don't pick the player 9 times out of 10 in this format. When you only have 6 people to choose from, if you think they're going to lose the game, you have plenty of other options.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But since we're split, I think we're trying to find common ground.
Right.
Yeah.
So are we comfortable
Kenny
going
Gainwell 1.0?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm appreciating the Kenny Gainwell love in the chat tonight.
It's about time.
That's right.
We're all so high on the Rams. I feel like like we're gonna jinx them now. They're gonna go out in the first round. It's gonna tank all of our,
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's all or nothing. That's the way it goes. Hey, I'm sure you mentioned this and I just missed it because I don't listen well. Is there any tight end premium in this at all, or no?
I don't think so.
No. It's just
Because if there's none, then I don't want any tight ends.
Oh, Drew, I didn't mean to put that bad juju out there for you, Drew. I'm so sorry.
By the way, Brandon Hallam in the chat. Aaron Rodgers for -3 yards. Gainwell 5 yards. Metcalf actually punches a fan and leaves. I love it.
That would be how the season ends.
Gainwell's going to the one player. Okay.
Yep.
And then Rodgers would murder him on the sideline. That's what would, if that's how he ends Rodgers' career, he would kill him on the sidelines.
All right, so we're tackling 1.75 or 1.25 next. It's Kyle.
We'll just work our way up then to 1.25, and my suggestion here was let's go with the Rams stack. Look, I'm sorry, Drew, we're not trying to jinx you. We just all believe in the Rams, and I think a good 1.25 spot is Kyron Williams here or Devontae Adams, however you guys want to work it out. I'm open to it, but we got to get one of those, if not both of them, on the board here.
I would rather maximize output and have Devontae, Mr. Red Zone target himself, who has more red zone touchdowns than Amon-Ra St. Brown in 3 fewer games at the 1.75.
Jorge, I concur. 175 Adams. I'm with you.
Stacy?
Yeah, same Adams. You don't listen. Devontae Adams is my favorite all-time wide receiver, so you do not have to talk me into him whatsoever.
Nate, can you make any point as to picking somebody else other than Devontae Adams at 1.75?
No, I already have a roster put in with Puka at 2 and Devontae at 175 and Kyron at 1. And so, yeah, put my money where my mouth is, as they say.
Yeah. So now that we're looking at this, are we all comfortable here? We all feel like the Rams are going to make it to the Super Bowl. That's what, 4 games. Are we cool with, you know what? Let's put our money where our mouth is and go Kyron Williams at the 1.25 and go full Ram stack.
If we're not in agreement that anybody on the AFC side we feel confidently will play 3 games.
And that's dicey, yeah.
It is dicey. I think that what we've shown is that we think Jacksonville will do it. But how confident are we in that?
Yeah. We could, you know what? That's a good point. We could mix it up a little bit and take a Jacksonville Jaguar to get a little bit different in the 1.25. If we think that it's going to be a Jaguars-Rams Super Bowl, maybe we got to get a Jag side who's going to be trailing in the Super Bowl.
Maybe you change with it.
See, for me, like I said, I am really big on Travis Etienne having a big game this week.
Okay.
But you know, we have them like going back to our ESPN Picks Game Challenge bracket, and we have them then going against the Patriots and then against the Broncos. Again, the defenses get tougher as they go forward, meaning for Jacksonville. So if we were taking Travis Etienne, you are really banking on like, boom, this is like, I hate saying like these phrases, but like legacy game Travis Etienne, you know, versus the Bills in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like you're hoping for a huge game to compensate decreasing productivity as the season goes on, or postseason goes on, excuse me. And it's because of that. Now that we're filling in the roster, now I feel like where we've got to the point is we've taken floor players and JSN and Kenneth Gainwell in this scenario. Like we have to squeeze the juice out of this last one. Like who is the one?
You want to know who I put in mine? That I did?
Yeah. Who did you do?
Jacoby Myers.
Ooh.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I'm like, if you think the Jags are winning, I'm Jacoby Myers here. If you think Bills are winning, I'm James Cook.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
my 2 picks. I'm taking either
great.
James Cook or I'm taking Jacoby Myers, depending on who you think that wins that game. I'm absolutely with Nate.
And I did
that.
one of each.
Let me just say, so I just submitted one of my lineups, and when you do that, a little screen pops up and it tells you the most popular players right now, and it gives you the percentages on rosters that they're at. Okay. So right now, in our obviously we have Puka's the most popular. You've got Devontae Adams as the 7th most popular. Then you got Christian McCaffrey 4th overall. JSN's the 2nd. You know who's not on that list is Kenny Gainwell. You know who's not on that list? Jacoby Myers. So if we're trying to separate ourselves a little bit, those might be some good players. Now, James Cook, third most popular there.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
that kind of makes the case for me a little bit to kind of zig over to the Jags.
I like it. No, I like it too.
All right, so we're Jacoby Myers. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get
I
different.
like it.
Let's do it.
Hey, we took him in the Super Bowl. It's pretty disgusting if we took a team to make the Super Bowl and we didn't take one player from that team in our thing. It's how much do we really believe that they're going to make the Super Bowl if we don't take one player from their team?
We basically call bullshit on our first hour of the show.
We're like, yeah. We took the Jags and F them. Like, we're not taking anybody from their team.
So I
All right,
want to point one thing out real quick just before we officialize this. Do we want to swap Myers and McCaffrey because we think Myers is going to play an additional game or two? I know McCaffrey's a stud, but if he's only going to play in 2 games,
I feel like the 1-5, even with him in one less game with the 1-5 because of the stats he can put up, just because CMC's the guy he is with rushing, receiving points, even if they lose, he could absolutely blow up. To me, the multiplier for him is the guy that's worth it because he could get you a ton of points where Myers, you're going to get points, but you're hoping you need multiple games for Myers to get you a high score. You could get 1 or 2 games out of CMC. He could crush and get you the third highest score in playing only 2 games where other guys play 4. They don't score as much as him.
That follows the logic. Like if you go for the top 3 multipliers, you're squeezing out maximum upside versus 1.25 and below, you're going for floor. Right. That's the strategy we're employing here in this particular one. Okay. Well,
I like it.
Submitting our lineup here. Confirm $10 entry. Checking location. Blah 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 blah. All right.
Yeah. There's where it pops up with most popular players.
No, it doesn't matter. So let me go down the list here. It says most popular players: Puka Nacua, then JSN, James Cook, CMC, Saquon, Kyron at 6, Devontae at 7. Interesting. Travion Henderson at 8, followed by RJ Harvey at 9 and Travis Etienne at 10.
Not one tight end on that list.
I've got mine pulled up right now. It says Kenneth Gainwell 1.7%. Is all he's on right now. 1.7. And Jacoby Myers right now is 11.1%.
I love it.
Interesting enough, I think someone just said no tight ends.
Yeah.
Obviously, that no tight end premium does.
There's no tight end premium. I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy. If there's no McBride or Bowers in the mix, why are you taking a tight end without tight end premium? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
You can maybe make an argument for Kittle, but that's really going to be the only other one that you can try to argue for. But that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so just
right after that FFPC one where we're fitting in so many tight ends. It's
Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange.
Right, exactly. We're making
well, there's a monster difference between 2 point per reception
over
and
Barkley.
Yeah, no.
So I also want to point out here for those who are on Fast Draft, and we talked about using the promo code FRAMES to get matched up to 50. This competition locks tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and it is 89% full. So you would imagine this is gonna.
Get on quick. I looked in, like Jorge, like you said, I looked in right when we got through. I was like, I better click my because I've been in these fast drafts before, and I've tried to tell people this before. It might look like you have time, and then next thing it's full in like 3 minutes. Boom, boom, everyone's in. So if you want to get into this, do not wait till tomorrow. If you wait till tomorrow, you're out.
Yesterday when we started the show, which is actually accurate for us on the East Coast. It was at 81% full, and now it's at 89%. So, get on that.
It's filling up. It's all the degenerates like us that are sad that fantasy's over. We got to have a little skin in the game. We got to have a little something to keep it interesting tomorrow when we're crying our eyes out over that Rams Panthers game that we're gonna have to watch.
Bryce Young legacy game. Yeah, sorry, Drew.
Yeah.
But folks, like we said, we had planned for this to be an hour and a half max, and we are now at 2.5 hours. So, and the fact that the viewership has kept increasing as we've been going,
Got nothing
Which-
better to do.
We're all
Nothing better to do
degenerate.
on a Friday night. I mean, what do you know?
These are our people, Jorge. These are
These are our people, absolutely. And the best thing about this is that this was our first show in the postseason. Next couple weeks we'll be moving to Thursday nights, right, Stacy?
We are, yeah. Thursday
Mhm.
nights, the next couple weeks, we're gonna be back next week doing a divisional round. Mix it up. Maybe who knows? Maybe we'll go do an underdog draft. Maybe we'll do something else. We'll do some more fast drafts, do some more FFPC. I don't know. We'll shake it up a little bit. But we're definitely gonna be doing some more drafting to get you guys through the playoffs. And then hopefully, you win a little money, have a little money to spend, and put in your coffers for next season.
There you go. And
I was gonna say I didn't get a chance to put it out there because we got going long and stuff. My favorite bet right now, you can get on DraftKings: Bears versus Steelers Super Bowl plus 35,000 right now. Plus 35,000. Bears versus Steelers Super Bowl matchup. Don't have to pick a winner. They both just got to get there and play each other. Plus 35,000 is my favorite bet right now.
wow.
Yes. All right, guys, let's go around the horn. Tell everybody where they can find you during the week and what you're up to. JT, where can the people find you?
Get me on X at JT Orange. Usually Tuesday nights, but now that football is closing down, Wednesday nights Around the Ice, our hockey podcast here on Fantasy and Frames. You can check me out with me and my buddy Aaron and Toast. You can do that. And then, normal season, I'm on Dynasty 365 and Shoot the Gap with Jorge on Wednesday nights. So that's usually where I'm at. And then when I can, and when I'm not at a Colts game, I'm on the Sunday morning show, pregame show during the season.
Yeah, JT, how about those Tampa Bay Lightning? Looking good, right?
They're looking real nice. My team's behind me here, the Red Wings, but the Lightning have looked greatly. I have Kucherov on literally every fantasy team, so I've got him everywhere. I always want the Lightning to score. I got Kucherov, Point. I got all those guys, so they're good. They're good. Love to see Lightning Wings to go to the Stanley Cup Finals this year would be fantastic.
We got a little Oliver Bjorkstrand signed puck over here.
Ooh, I like that. That's nice.
Kyle, I know your computer is literally about to die.
Is it about to Kyle? Where can the peeps find you? Tell everybody.
Quickly, KZ1180, you can find me. We just wrapped up our Fourth and Frame season, so we'll be back though in sometime early March. But I'll still be around. I'm still going to be kicking some tires here with Dynasty Risers and Fallers. I might take some football time off, maybe up to the Super Bowl, take some time off, come back and be ready to gear up for some more Dynasty Riser and Fallers articles.
Yes. Nate?
Yeah, the old X at Nate Markham. The kind of a little slow, not a slow time, a much needed refresher as we enter the post NFL winter solstice, going into the spring. I gotta tell you, I don't necessarily know what I'm gonna do with myself. I've been so much, it's been Sunday mornings with JT and Jorge, and Wednesday nights with Kyle and Drew and the gang. And I will say one thing: I would do this, Stacy. I look forward to next Thursday because you and I don't get a chance to hang out nearly as much, even though we're best friends, despite what these other people think they're your best friend. It's me and you. So next Thursday, the only thing that matters is next Thursday when we get to go through and we get to talk shit to all these other idiots. They got all their picks wrong, and you and I were 100% on everything. I got the pie for you, Jorge. I'm sure whatever pie bet you made that you're going to get wrong will come.
Speaking of which, I'll probably be taking a pie to the face this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Shoot the Gap. Yep. And then so folks, let's not forget, redraft season is over, but we're already doing player prospect on the IDP side. We're doing player prospects on the offensive side. Dynasty 365 is going to be kicking back up as soon as the Super Bowl's over. Kyle, you and I are starting a brand new podcast in March called the Fantasy Football Vision Checkup. Get it? Playing on the whole, Fantasy and Frames thing. So that's going to be starting up then. Kyle's going to be a host. And then, of course, we got Shoot the Gap. taking over, the 9 p.m. slot here, or maybe even the 10 p.m. slot on Wednesdays. So we got a lot of stuff coming your way, whether it's article form over at fantasyandframes.com or podcasts or live streams. But to Nate's point, the only thing I'm looking forward to now is next Thursday.
Yep. That's right, guys.
Jorge, don't forget, we got a bunch of drafts. We're going to do a bunch of mock drafts coming up here.
Yep, the mock draft show also. Yep.
On Fantasy Frame. So don't forget about it. We're going to do a bunch of mock drafts. I'm knee deep in rookies already. I've already done a bunch of rookie mock drafts for fantasy. I've got articles coming out crazy on DLF if you're over there. But we're going to be kicking out some all the drafts. We're tight end premium. I know everybody always like, I'm going to do tight end premium. We're going to do standard.
Really?
Hey, Jorge, we're going to do a standard draft, rookie mock. We're going to do everything. We're going to do a little bit of everything where we have all the different scoring systems, and you can figure out who the best takes depending on your scoring system.
Non-PPR sounds glorious.
Yeah, all 4 people that are going to tune in are going to love that episode.
As long as those 4 people are reviewing that article that I'll rate my ode to non-PPR for the FSWA Writer of the Year award this year, I'll be happy with that.
All right, guys, that I think is going to do it. I got the sleepiest little puppy over here who is standing way past his bedtime. He's about to turn into a pumpkin. Nate, he's named after the great Greg Maddux over here. Yep, that's him, everybody.
The Chicago Cubs superstar.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Atlanta Braves Hall of Famer all the way. Guys, for those of you that hung out with us the entirety of tonight, all 2 hours and 41 minutes, 16 seconds, thank you so much. We will be back as promised next Thursday, 9:30 p.m. We will see you then. And until then, I hope all of your football dreams come true. See you later, guys.
Go Pack.